This OP grew on me.
Yeah, it was catchy. My favorite part is the dicing.
The dicing.
The dicing to see the meat get disintegrated.
Nice. So, coming to you live from the village hidden in the flies.
雲隠れから放送します。
This is a Boku no podcast, an anime podcast. I'm your host, Nick, here in the studio with...
Kenji.
Yes. Dude,
Royally.
This anime is chock full of flies. Top to bottom. A big bag of them. And for people who are listening, this is the Dorohedoro episode of the podcast. Fat, sticky spoilers up ahead. Take the time. It's like, 3.5, 4 hours of content?
Easy.
Yeah, it's an easy...
It's 12 episodes. It's honestly a crime that it's 12 episodes.
Well, yeah. You know, I want to... Do you want to get in?
I wish it was like those 6, you know, but actually quality over quantity.
Right?
You know? I guess the quality makes up for it's all compacted so tightly and neatly into 12 episodes. So I take that back. I think it's good because it's 12 episodes. I think it's anime of the year potentially.
Jeez.
Potentially. It's on the list, dude.
Woo.
It's on the list.
You're starting with the fat endorsement.
It's on the list.
Nice.
I
All right.
sponsor this. This is like horror fiction, right? Would you put this? Horror fiction?
Well, I'd say
fantasy horror fiction kind of.
I'd like to get into my feelings about it.
It's right up my alley, and that's why I endorse it.
I want to start at the start of it because...
This is what my soul looks like. Okay?
Jeez. Oh my God. Look at this guy trying to define himself with someone else's work over here.
I am. I'll do it.
No, so it opens. You hit that play button. It's a Netflix original. I'm like, I don't know what this is fucking about. So I hit that play button, and with a lot of animes, I think that first impression's important. Like, you know, you've got Death Note hits you in the dick with that 1-2 punch of episode 1 and 2, and it's like, are you in or are you out, motherfucker? You know? You're watching Outlaw Star, you get through that first, like, 4 episode arc, and then the show, like, consciously looks at you, and it's like, hey, do you want to, like, are you still with us on this shit? Like, you know, are you still about this fucking stuff, you know? Trigun, you get about halfway through that show before they're like, all right, are you with, like, you know?
Right.
With Dorohedoro, it was like, you had to have a fucking, like, stopwatch in your hand. Because, it opens, and it's like, Fujita! My man's head inside the crocodile's mouth.
Yeah.
Staring at another guy who's like, oh, you are not the one. And I'm just like, I've never...
And then he spits him back out.
He spits him back out. You get a finger break. You get a kick to the head by a woman you will come to learn is Nikaido. I had to measure in milliseconds how long it took for this show to hook me in. I'm not joking. I was like
Were you hooked then?
Inside of 3 minutes into this show, I was like, well, I gotta fucking finish this.
Because you're not gonna ever understand what's. We still don't know after finishing it.
Right?
Fully.
I feel emotionally. I'm not gonna lie. If I had one complaint about this show, I feel emotionally robbed.
In a negative way? Or in a positive way?
In a, well, it's my fault. It's always my fault for being an idiot, is how I feel about it. I got into this thinking, I don't know why, but I see 12 episodes on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, is this going to be a one-shot? You know? Is this... I forgot for some reason that, you know, Netflix typically is a 3-season company. You know? They give it 3 seasons, maybe 5.
If it does super well, like, 5, 4.
Yeah. With anime, they seem like... After I saw what they did to 7 Deadly Sins, you know, and I'm not saying I've seen all of 7...
Did they wrap that up? I don't know.
Of the anime, the manga is wrapped up, I believe. So I don't know where the anime is at. But...
I didn't finish it. I only watched
I didn't see the news. Yeah, it's on my to-watch list. But So I don't know where Netflix is going with this, but because I'd never heard of Dorohedoro before, and I'm a fucking idiot. I'm not gonna lie.
It was published in like 1999.
Yeah,
And it ended in 2018.
All right, I drink antifreeze and I eat glue sticks. Like, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. If you want to hold that against me for the rest of my fucking life, then you can do that.
I mean,
but that's gonna be.
To be fair, it was an obscure manga, right? I mean, it wasn't published in like a popular company. I forgot what it was, but
I'll look into that. But I got 30 seconds in and I see this and I don't know what is going on. I see this man get cut to ribbons. just
filleted.
In the first 45 seconds of the show is like, all right, what's your stance on violence? Because life means nothing in this universe.
It's not a big deal.
I don't think you understand.
And we'll get to why, but
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's almost a wacky, super jail-esque level of murder occurring in this universe.
It's cartoonish how these people go. He literally gets diced up like how you dice up tomatoes when you have to make salsa.
This is a terrifying Bugs Bunny reality where animals have access to dynamite. Sentient ducks try to blow up rabbits with guns that they can purchase at a local convenience store. Yeah. This is zany. And I don't break the case open and pull zany out often. But so it opens. There's these guys that we're learning are sorcerers. This is the big thrust of the show. It's we live in a world filled with sorcerers. There is the human ? World.
Powers vary.
And the sorcerer world. Sorcerers have certain types of magic that they need to practice on live people, basically. And rather than... And I want to stress this, not out of compassion for their fellow sorcerers, but rather because it's riskier to turn on one of your fellow sorcerers. They choose to come to the safer human ? World where people don't have magic to basically rape, pillage, and murder freely, knowing that they could single-handedly take down an entire police battalion. It's everything that you figure would really happen in the X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
We like to think that it'd be like, oh, well, we would hunt down the mutants and stuff. And it's like, no, I think they would have Genosha, and they would occasionally come shoreside to take the prettiest women and men and take the best technology that we've developed for their own, and then just kill anyone that they felt was being too radical at the time.
In a nutshell.
Yeah. So, get ready, because I don't know if you're familiar with this old trope, but we're about to go into a world where people have no rights. Japan loves not having, just no rights,
Yeah, that's how it was.
It's,
authoritarian rule. It's in our blood, and it feels good to let that go finally in this day and age. And just portray it and show people what it's like to be trapped.
So all this badass imagery is happening. This boy gets cut to ribbon. A man that we're going to learn is named Matsumoto. But in his last dying act, he shoots a little bit of what we'll come to learn is called smoke out of his finger, creating what we'll come to learn is called a door, so that his friend can escape into what we'll come to learn is the sorcerer world.
Yeah. It takes a while for them to actually get into this. Like, we have to be in the hole.
Hold on to hang on to your ass with both hands.
We don't even know about that.
This show moves at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it doesn't slow down until maybe the 10th episode.
5. I think at episode 5, it's like, I don't know. They start fleshing out the world a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so all right. So the main conceit. This is a world that I've always wanted to see. Is like future sorcerers, future. Now I want to see future wizards. And here's a fun thing. Shouts out to you, Q Hayashida. I enjoy that she makes the proper delineation between a sorcerer and a wizard.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you hear people, you hear normies tossing around like, oh, they're sorcerers or oh, they're wizards. And it's like, well, which one is it? Which fucking one is it, you idiot? They're not the same. Was he a warlock? Or was he a demonologist? Or was he... No, it's different. It's different. What the hell's wrong with you? And so I really, really enjoy that this is the proper application of sorcery.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerers.
Sorcerer.
No sorceresses.
Not wizarder.
No.
No.
You know what? A sorcerer's power comes from within. A wizard learns their magic. Yeah. A warlock signs...
Is wizard like more alchemy?
Alchemy is a branch of either a sorcerer or a wizard who takes a liking to science can get into alchemy. Either one.
Okay.
Also, like a warlock.
But aren't wizards more akin to alchemy more so than I don't know?
Probably because being a wizard necessitates you being a fast reader.
Right. I don't know. We're getting really a D&D meta.
Hey, no. This is what they want. This is what they need. And because you...
And I didn't know Japanese people could really do that.
What?
Be this, like, specific,
Hey.
That much attention. Especially from a lady.
A lady who apparently loves Satan. Because, man, is there some satanic imagery.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with the devil.
I'm a Luciferian myself.
Look, I got 666 right above my belly button, bro. You know, what's up?
You could believe in whatever you want over there. They don't care. They don't care.
So we get some imagery that you're not going to understand. First off, Kaiman was a regular man turned into a crocodile man as a victim of this rampant magic.
And he has amnesia.
And he has amnesia, and it's a common occurrence in this world. Such a common occurrence that our boy actually moonlights as a bed care tenderer at a hospital for victims of magical misdoings. This is the side of Harry Potter that they don't show you. The people that were fucked by the centaurs. The people that were turned into spider women. This is the stuff that, that the powers that be are afraid of letting the muggles know about.
Yeah. I don't think we ever seen that.
No. Like, how'd you get cancer? And it's like, well, my wife turned herself into a white dwarf star, and it was only about 2 years later that we realized that the radiation was causing me a couple issues. It happens, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your wife chose to be a quintessent ball of energy, and I'm sure that that's having a lot of stress on your family.
But it's a classic. I mean...
But you really got to think about what she wants and what she needs.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not ascending to the fifth dimension anytime soon, pal. So, really think about your family on this one. I'm sorry you got liver cancer. But, so, Fujita, he gets there. They say he wishes his friend a farewell, and he throws his egg in the fountain. Don't know what the hell this means. And they say, someone tells him, you've got to go see Mr. N after you pray for your friend. And... This is something that I don't understand. Someone points out that they're like, well, at least Fujita's wearing his ceremonial shoes. Mr. N says something like, I notice you're wearing your ceremonial shoes. It must be because you just left a funeral. And Fujita's wearing straight clown shoes, bro. Like bowling alley shoes.
Classy.
We should get these kicks.
Yeah, this Halloween, it's gonna be this show really inspired me to go hard on Halloween this year.
Really?
I don't know. It makes me...
This show is a fervent bed of streetwear to be mined. I wouldn't be surprised if 2 years from now you start to see elements of this just appearing in the fall collection of every bullshit. I got it's my own idea. It's mine. Totally didn't stick.
Yeah,
totally
this gimp mask is totally my.
It's totally my
idea.
thing. Like I didn't like this helmet, this hoodie with spikes on it. Yeah, that's my idea.
It's like this gas mask. It's my idea.
But for real, this is a fashionable show. And I want to talk about it's made by Studio Mappa, who, like it or not, we've got to learn to love this company because they are the guys and girls who are going to be bringing us Attack on Titan season 4, whether we like it or not.
Fingers crossed.
Suck down the medicine now, bitch. I don't know. I gotta say this anime has style, man. This anime is
so beautifully drawn. What do you think of the 3D stuff, though? You think it's done well? Because I think it's done well.
I think, hey, Studio Orange,
it's better than Beastars in my opinion. Like that's how well done.
I would agree, better than Beastars, but Beastars doesn't
also,
have
but it's not as mixed. Yeah, it's not as mixed in with the 2D drawing, because it's mixed. It's not all 3D.
You've got to consider how much of that is the animators being allowed to run wild with the fact that this is a show with no fucking rules. I can't stress this enough, because when I saw Matsumoto get cut to ribbons, I was like, oh, he just murdered that guy in plain sight. Oh, he's a sorcerer, so you're allowed to do that. But even still, it seems like you wouldn't be able to just like accuse someone of being a sorcerer and killing them, would you? And it's like, no, you actually see Kaiman just murk a handful, just with,
and he's not even a sorcerer.
With what, by all accounts, is very little evidence.
Yeah.
And at first you're like, oh, snap, I guess those were sorcerers, and I guess those sorcerers were bad guys, maybe, I guess. And then you start to realize, wait, no, Kaiman was going to kill them. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what they were doing. Kaiman determined from the minute he got turned into a crocodile man.
Yeah, and he's on a mission.
That he's got to get to the bottom of this.
That's such a stressful mission, too,
It is, I want to get to this because when we get,
would you live with that? Would you live with a lizard head?
I want to get to that a little later.
You kind of fit Kaiman a little bit.
Because there's a moment, jumping way far ahead. We're in full spoilers, but the moment that he earnestly says, "Let's go to the sorcerer's world," that's when I was like, oh, Kaiman is a different caliber of person than I even suspected so far. Because there's something immensely different from, like, let's take an event like 9/11. Okay? Something that scars you forever. People who were in New York, there are a lot of people who went and they signed up for the military, and they're like, let's go get them. But I don't think there was people who were like, I am buying an American Airlines ticket to the Middle East so that I can take on all of my enemies single-handedly. There's like
There's people that do that.
There's a level of like Resident Evil 5 Chris Redfield. Like, I am going to go into the heart
personally
of my enemy base, and I'm going to put. Who ordered the
under nobody's jurisdiction am I going over here?
Like,
I have no obligation to be in Syria.
I am Ronald Reagan, and I am going to go to Africa, and I am going to end apartheid with these two fists, motherfucker. You're like, what? Are you crazy? And this whole show is a very slow burn, because it intros, we see the sorcerer world, and we get all these fucking crazy characters, and one of the best slow burns of this whole show, Mr. N. Let's talk about Mr. N, because they introduce him, and I'm like, oh, this is the mob boss not to be fucked with, obviously. This is the guy. This is the one that you like.
At first.
You watch your speech around Mr. N. This man doesn't crack a smile. He literally can't crack a smile. He has like a skull face. Weird mouth skull aesthetics in this show. Lots of teeth. Ooh. Q Hayashida loves her teeth, bro.
Yeah, there's some teeth in there. I was wondering if they're real or not, you know?
It's I guess it's kind of like what is it? I mean, it's like geometric shapes in Full Metal Alchemist.
I wish that was normal. I wish it was normal. It might be normal soon.
To have
teeth?
Know?
To just have a
second set of teeth?
Yeah.
like an Ava?
Yeah.
Or something?
It's cool, man. Like an elite?
Mandibles, bro? Are we predators? Like, what's going on here? But yeah, so we meet Mr. N, and goddamn, I'm not gonna lie, when we do our end of year, when we're doing character of the year, come the end of this year.
N, you like N?
He's lovable, dude.
You like that fella?
The can you not?
Dude. The one thing about this show I gotta say, and it's akin to, how do you pronounce Mappa?
Mappa?
Mappa? It's Mappa?
I don't know.
I assume it's Mappa. But, like, it's akin to Mappa Studios because, like, there's not a single character that I really don't like in this show. Could you think of one? I mean...
Oh, I hate...
Fujita is the only one I could think of.
But we have to...
He's the exception.
We have to unpack Fujita.
He's an exception.
So we get Mr. N, and Mr. N is very much, he's the boss. You don't mess with him. He's vegetarian. He
turns people into mushrooms.
And I will say, this is one aspect of the show that broke with me a bit, is when they say that it's a world of sorcerers, I kind of wanted there to be general spells. Like, I wanted there to be, like, water to wine. And it's like, well, that's a spell any sorcerer can do. And this is kind of more of an X-Men situation where everyone has a special power.
It's like a quirk, almost.
Yeah.
It's like My Hero, but more edgy a little bit, right? Like, some people don't have it, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, apparently they explained the anatomy of having smoke. And that's the whole thing is, like, are there sorcerers that don't have the smoke organ?
Yeah, I didn't need that.
There's an organ. There's literally a vein. They explain it. There's like a vein that goes through their fingertips.
This is a product of 2000.
Remember that first scene when Nikaido, like, snaps Fujita's fingers?
And he can't do magic after
that. Because there's a vein that goes through his fingers. So if you break it, you can't...
Yeah.
So cool, like
smart.
There's
a logic. There's a consistent
but you
logic.
don't know that though. At first seeing that, you're just like, oh, she's just damn straight up being evil. She's just straight up being a bitch. Like she just wants to cause pain.
I would never slander Nikaido with such a term.
Right. But like, I'm just like, damn, dude. Like she didn't have to. She could have just kicked him in the face, you know. I don't know.
So. Yeah, so I consider a lot of the scienciness of it, because I didn't need that. I don't need the science of the smoke ducks or whatever, but this is a product of the 2000s. Like, it came out...
It just shows that, like...
Everything...
She cares.
No, everything in the 2000s was trying to put... This is Batman Begins and the Tumblr.
Wait, is that why Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like, has the
yes,
natural...
I'm saying everything that came out of the early 2000s was so... Oh, you gotta have the science behind the magic. Everyone was doing it. It's the reason why we had the Hulk. It's the reason why we had
is that seriously the reason, though?
Huh? Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why Batman Begins is like, here's how the Tumblr works. Here's how Batman actually moves in the shadow.
Yeah.
Here's how his cape works.
Do you have a problem with that?
It was just a sign of the times. I don't fault her for it, but I didn't need, actually, the sorcerers have smoke ducks that blah, 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 blah.
Because I have a knack for that. I need an explanation.
Okay, yeah.
Believability. I like believability.
It's a vibe, bro. Science is what killed Star Wars. Trying to explain the Force.
I want my Harry Potter. This is my Harry Potter. Okay? I'm going to buy me a wand now.
Harry Potter is a chef's kiss of explainability, where it's like, how does the wand work? And it's like, well, it's called a bit of a phoenix feather in a bit of cherry wood. And it's like, but wait, how does the magic work? And it's like, yes, isn't it cheeky? Like, and that's all you're gonna get, because it's magic, bitch. What the fuck do you want? And so, but all right, so Mr. N tells Fujita he's got to avenge his friend, but, and this is a big deal, Fujita first is like, I'm going to get, this lets you know what kind of show we're on. Fujita's like, well, I'm going to get a gun. I'm going to shoot that clown dead. And
I'll take a smoke. And
Mr. N's like, don't you dare try to pull a gun. If you use a gun, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to turn you into a mushroom and eat you. That's like my shtick, bro. And it's so fucking weird. Like, I didn't expect turn you to a mushroom. That
he didn't choose that life.
That
bro.
does not feel like a class S power.
But that's the thing about N is like he didn't ask for that.
He did. He
never asked.
He deserves it, and that's I don't want to. You know,
we don't even know his intentions.
I don't need to know him. You know, I'm gonna say
there's a lot of this first season at least leaves you with a lot of questions.
It leaves me with one answer though, and that's that N is the right person. He's got the right idea.
Yeah, you don't.
He deserves it more. He's worked harder.
He's kind of like
he's worked
for a villain though. Like he's obviously the antagonist of the show, but for an antagonist, he's really fucking likable.
Well, we'll get. I
don't really have a reason to not like him.
You don't?
Not really. He's evil, yeah, sure. He's an evil motherfucker, but he's
like my favorite. He's probably my favorite character in the show.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Like I think he's got. He reminds me of if the mob boss from Goku Dolls was just a like 10% less comical and 10% more serious. Like,
cause like he's so weird in a way where like he has his own. It's like he made his own movie about himself for his enemies to watch, like a VHS tape. You don't remember that?
Yeah, no. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about here before we get to Mr. N, because there's so much going on.
Because you know who's my favorite character?
Who?
Chota.
Chota?
Yeah.
Oh. See, we'll get to Chota. We got to explain because this is there's so much cool stuff in this first episode. So Nikaido is skateboarding, and I'm like,
you sold me.
Yeah,
I love this character.
I knew as soon as I saw Nikaido skating with that pig, I was like, hello. Whenever we get conventions back, I was like, hello, number 3 cosplay.
Yeah, obviously.
2021.
But that's with any
no, it's a good. I'm in.
It's an easy cosplay too.
I'm not against it, bro. I'm in.
Anybody that shares their body.
And so Nikaido's going to make gyoza. It's Cayman's favorite food. Cayman's working at that fucking hospital now with Vo. Vo's a cool dude.
Yeah.
You get to learn about him a little bit.
You get to learn about all these characters. Like, there's not like all the characters on these shows stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody sticks around. There's not too many throwaway characters at all.
And this is where the show, I think, takes a moment to introduce you to the raw brutality. Because it's like, what's the situation, Vo? What are you dealing with? And he's like, we got a case of some half roach men. And it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Kill these men. Oh my God. This is absolutely the worst. If this is episode 1, this is the worst. This is the worst. To be turned halfway into a roach man? I was like, that's...
It's almost like a slot machine, because Kaiman got the lizard. Somebody else got the roach, you know?
It's not even like, I have the arms of a roach. It's like, no, like a chunk of my back the size of a cantaloupe got turned into a roach. Like, it's so bad. And they're like, yeah, the flesh is ripping where the insect flesh and the human flesh are meeting. It's obviously welting and filling with pustulates and corpuscles that are probably causing this man blinding amounts of pain. He's been asking me to kill him for about 4 hours now. Can you take him to the infirmary? And we're probably going to kill him in like 4 hours if we don't figure something out. And it's like, okay, this is life in the hole.
It's reality.
This is daily. This is why Cayman kills without questioning it. This is why all cops are bad to Kaima.
Yeah.
There is no he's seen this too many times.
It's a wasteland.
It's crazy. This is a level of hopelessness that
I just love the apocalyptic fucking setting.
This
where,
isn't an apocalypse, though. This
it isn't, but
like
it's like,
every day.
but it's drawn like it, you know, like it's so. By the way, it's so detailed. How fun! Like, have you noticed how detailed the fucking background is?
Well,
because do you know who does the background? The same people who did the background for Akira did the same background for this.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? The same artists?
Yeah.
Nice. That makes sense because this is the
Background
whole.
was the same.
The Hole is a place that I would love to visit, but would never want to live in.
I'd live. I'd move now. If it really existed, dude, take me to the hole.
As a human? Hell no.
Hell
no.
That's true. Yeah.
Hell no, not for a second. Not even.
Never
I
mind.
would.
Yeah.
Hey Nick, there's like
If I
there's like a 1 in 10,000 chance that you're gonna get turned into like a half cricket, half octopus, and it's like, oh well, you know what? I'd rather get struck by lightning twice.
Because those were the ignorant ones.
I'd absolutely rather get hit by a car than turn into.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. If I did have veins, though, you know, out of my fingertips,
I guess you'll never know if you don't go. If you don't enter that.
Okay, but would you be on the other end of the spectrum where you could turn people, say somebody you don't like, into a humanoid cockroach?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I had something cool like pie magic, you know, that's...
Turn people into pies?
Yeah, you know.
It's an economic one. You could literally survive.
So... Kaiman is he's getting pictures developed because he's trying to see if there's ghosts in them. And this introduces one of like the coolest concepts of the whole, which is that there's just so much rampant magic that it is like a chemical leak, like a Gulf oil spill. There's just so much magic.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you fire... You know, it's a fun thing that a lot of people don't know, but if you go to places where hunting is very common, where deer breed, the soil gradually becomes more and more toxic because hunters shoot bullets there, and the lead in the bullets just gradually poisons the soil. And so over 50, 60, 70 years... prime hunting grounds actually start to become poisonous, just like in a very weird slow burn way that you might not notice. That
you could only notice until it's too late.
You couldn't notice this over like less than a 20-year time span, that the IQ of people in a very certain patch of people are dropping, and they're exhibiting like rage patterns that are very similar to lead poisoning. You're like, why are these people
does it get into their food or whatever? Or?
It can get into the water, but it primarily just comes from like interacting around with the soil in the area and not realizing that there's a lot of expelled lead there. And you know,
interesting. And that like makes people more like short-tempered.
Lead poisoning makes people stupider and angrier. Yeah. So anyway, the whole Nikaido, she's coming home with her pig. She encounters this guy who seems to be eating shit, and she tries to be a good person. And you know what happens. The anime thing. The guy she thought was a good guy, he's a bad guy. He turns Nikaido into a roach woman. And I'm like, no! But you know that it can't go too bad. Because, like, come on, guys. We're in episode 1. Cayman shows up. He murks this fucking sorcerer. Murks him hard.
That's why it, like, gets so, like, blurry because so much like crazy shit happens in 2 seconds, and you think it's a huge deal, and it's not. And that happens over and over again throughout the show.
Yeah, this
It's
roach
like,
sorcerer, I don't even know his fucking name.
Yeah.
I don't even think he got a name.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't even think they named him. Kaiman's just talking about some dumbass, though. He's like, some dumbass roach sorcerer fucking can't do his fucking sorcery, right? We're cleaning up his dumbass mess. And he's like, oh, well, I'm that sorcerer. But this is where we learn that Kaiman is, for some reason, immune to magic as a bizarre side effect of being turned into a lizard man by...
Doesn't his suit have something to do with it too?
No, it is entirely...
I thought this is his
No, it's
suit
just
had
it's
something
just
to
a stylish suit, bro. It's just some good streetwear, bro. He's got a street fit Instagram account or whatever for it, but I'm trying to remember how do they figure out that it was a Bisu that they need to be going after?
I forgot.
I know that Fujita is told to investigate by Mr. N, and he's like, I think it was a Bisu. I think she's got magic that's similar to this. Or he's like, I know that a Bisu was in the area that he was turned. The night that this guy says he started to show up, they know that a Bisu was in the area. And so they're trying to investigate her. This is where we intro a Bisu, a girl with a skull.
Is this before or after she got her face peeled off?
This is introing her.
Okay.
They are all going. Kaiman figures out that he needs to see a Bisu, and Fujita is like, I think they're going to go to a Bisu because the man had a lizard head, and I think a Bisu's got lizard magic. Mm-hmm. Mr. N says, check her out, but don't bring a gun. And so they go to see her, and she's like a 15-year-old girl or something like that. Well, no.
No, she is.
She is?
I think she's a 15-year-old.
Okay, I was gonna say because
I think younger, 13.
There's no nipples in this.
I think
anime.
there's 13.
There's a lot of bare chest, but no.
There's nipples. There's nips.
Oh, there are.
Noi?
You don't see the nips. I looked. Those
I
are
could have
some
sworn.
smooth, round mountains, bro. But so we introduce a Bisu. She's like, I don't know. She's fucking funny. She's just like a skull head thing with two scythes on her. I was like, this is the most 2002 fucking looking. This is straight out of Hayashida's fucking Notebook, 7th grade. Like, I saw that.
It's dope though. I love it. And so I love her as a character as well.
So they get into her, and this show, man, like, Kaiman slices off the bitch's fingers. Kaiman, the grown man, cuts off the 13-year-old girl's fingers as a
you can't
hello.
let her touch you, man.
As a like, what's up? We might have a conversation that needs to
Nick,
happen.
you have to be on that. If you're not a sorcerer in the hole, you have to be that. You have to be like balls to the wall. Like, if your hand is in front of my face, I'm cutting it off. Type shit. You need to be on that, bro. If you're not a sorcerer.
Yeah, so we got the drop on this girl coming out of, like, middle school, right? And she was eating this, like, grilled cheese sandwich, so I, like, lopped the bitch's hand off, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and then she turned my head into a lizard head.
Yeah, so they cut her hand off. Fujita he's like, oh, snap, they're going to get her. So he tries to save her. He's like, I'm saving you. Don't worry, I'm saving you. He goes to pull her through the door, and Kaiman's like, wait, no, the man in my mouth's got to ask her the question. And he just snaps her fucking face off.
Yeah.
Like Nicolas Cage in Face Off. I was like, oh my God. What am I watching? I think I might have audibly said.
I was like, how did Netflix greenlight this at that point? I was like, I just watched a 13-year-old get her face skinned off by a lizard, man. And she got pulled through a magical door.
I'm balls deep. I can't get out. I can't get out of this show now.
Yeah. And then they go back to En's palace, and they just look at, and everybody else in the did they introduce Shin yet?
No,
and Noi?
Shin and Noi explicitly come in on this.
They come in after.
They're
right?
the very end of this episode and the very start of the next episode.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they make a point of pointing out, like, damn, girl, you ugly now.
But don't they immediately?
Damn, that face fucked up.
And they're like, "Are you okay?" And she's just like traumatized, you know.
Well, here's the other
rest
thing.
Of the show, and for the rest of the show, she's like never the same again.
Well, here's the thing that we forgot to mention. Not only does she get her face ripped off, and not only does she get her fingers cut off, but Nikaido kicks her at the base of her skull in the back of her head.
Oh yeah.
And they say that she is concussed from the minute they get her back. Like, Fuchita's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, like, she just doesn't know up from down, because Nikaido, probably harboring all of her hatred of sorcery, kicks
I'm curious of like who she was.
Kicks Ebisu in the back of the head so hard that girl ain't right for like 8 or 9 episodes.
That's like my biggest fear. Is like being hit in a way where it's like, you're just never the same again.
You just start listening to Creed. You just fucking have no choice. No, I just like, it's a good song. Like, Sean wasn't like this before. What happened? What happened to my friend? Nah, dude, listen, we're gonna go tailgate. They're playing at the Florida Georgia line, man. It's gonna be. And it's like, what happened to my friend? So we get this geyser of blood shooting out of Cayman's throat, and he sees a man step out of his throat. Then he walks off, and Cayman's like, "Who are you? What's going on?" And he wakes up. Yeah. And this is the first of what we'll learn to... All right. I'll give this anime a pass on a couple things because it's the 2000s. But I'll tell you what. 2020 onward, you throw a dream sequence at me, you're getting an F.
Why?
You're getting a fat...
That's bound to happen. You're just setting yourself up for failure now.
You don't throw a dream sequence at me, bro. You throw a girl who is inexplicably psychic and having visions of the future at me. You throw dream sequences at me. You throw ghosts, memories of like your ghosts of dead relatives telling you the future. And guess what, bro? I'm out.
Then now you're just not going to enjoy anything now.
No, I'll give Dorohedoro. Listen, this is old sensibilities.
I'm just saying, it's always going to be a part of cinema.
Nah,
it's
bro.
always going to be a part of shit.
You notice after... It's like when you're watching
come on. Some dream sequences are wonderful.
It's like when you're watching an anime with fighting and someone's like, "Oh no, he's going to have to use that technique." And then someone else says, "Oh no, not that technique." And after watching Naruto, you're like, thank goodness I can shut this anime off right here. I don't ever have to deal, because no, I won't deal with you saying that technique and then someone else saying not that technique and then someone else saying you promised you'd never use that technique. You hit me with that 3 times, I'm pulling that fucking DVD right out of the player, throwing it right in the trash.
That's understandable.
I got rules now. I got principles. I don't got to deal with this anymore. But Dorohedoro is an exception because it is fucking wild. It is exceptional. It deserves all the praise that it gets.
It earned it.
It earned. You got me. Listen,
there you go. That's what it has to do. It has to earn.
You can throw a cliche at me when you've hit me with 20 minutes of wondering where the fucking ground is.
And what's okay and what's not.
I'll accept the call's coming from inside the house after half an hour of not knowing when up is down and when wet is dry.
I still don't know what's right and wrong in this world.
Yeah. So, man,
I think this show has hardcore absurdism.
Oh yeah, because then we get into. You thought this show might have been
because there's a baseball. There's like a baseball episode. Weirdly enough, and I don't know why Japanese anime loves to do this, but they always have to throw a baseball game, and some Fooly Cooly. There's a baseball game in the middle,
Yeah, baseball episode, beach episode.
Because baseball is our football,
Yeah,
that's what we get drunk for on Sundays, and
What was I going to say here? Is So episode 2, you get Shin and Noi, and I felt like you could have literally just showed me still images of Shin and Noi, and I would have been like, hold up, like, give me like a minute or two here to piece apart what's going on here. Because it's like, all right, we got a man wielding a hammer wearing a heart on his head, but the heart is backwards, and there's a skull mouth on the back of his helmet.
Yeah, it's odd.
And if you think you're going to get the answers for that this season.
I didn't even think of, like, that wasn't. I never questioned that, actually. I don't know why.
What?
I never. I was too busy questioning.
Yeah,
things,
mile a minute, man. I'm telling you.
It's understandable, right?
This is why I write it all down. So it's like, all right, this guy's hat he's wearing his hat backwards. All right, I get it. I guess. I don't know. But we get into this buddy cop era. Like, I love the buddy cop aspect of these two. We got Shin and Noi.
And Ebisu and Fujita.
Ebisu and Fujita are no Shin and Noi.
But we'll get to why, they kind of...
I like Noi's name because I thought her jacket said number 1 at first. And I was like, you are number 1, Noi. Not just in our hearts, but...
You like Noi?
I like Noi. I only got her tattooed on the small of my back.
Would you get a Noi tattoo?
If I was man enough to shoulder the burden of a Noi tattoo, to not be crushed under the weight of responsibility that would come with it. Noi might be best girl.
Whoa, really?
Who's your best girl this year, bro?
Nikaido's
best girl?
Yes, hands down.
She cooks, she cleans, she is waifu material.
Gyoza, man.
Gyoza.
I understand.
She's the gyozan one.
I totally understand where Kaiman is coming from. Mama's gyoza.
Mama's got the gyoza, bro.
Bro, that gyoza, it's man. Have you seen the OVA?
No.
Because the OVA is totally not what I expected. You know what it's about?
No, what?
It's about...
Wait, don't spoil it for me. I'll watch it. I want to go in dry. I want to go in as dry as a desert.
Yeah.
So we get this buddy cop stuff. We get them counting up their kills because they're very Legolas and Gimli. Like, what number are you up to, dwarf? Like, just killing these men, shoving their heads into walls. And I'm scratching my head. I'm developing a small bald spot from where I've been scratching my head this whole show saying, like, okay, so are wizards inherently super strong? Or sorcerers, are they inherently super strong as well as everything else? I kind of don't get how all of this works. And, but it doesn't matter because that woman just karate chopped that man in half.
Yeah. She's huge too, by the way.
She is
a
lot of woman to love.
Yeah.
And
dream bod, for sure.
Mm-hmm. She's got the Yujiro Hanma thing going on.
Oh, she could rival Yujiro Hanma possibly.
She could.
Yujiro Hanma should wipe that up, dude.
Yujiro would struggle to motorboat.
Make a Baki too. Make a second kid, dude.
Can you imagine Baki just being like, how am I supposed to compete with this shit? What the fuck is this? Are you kidding me?
He has magic.
I've been training my whole goddamn life. This kid's got magic. He's
and super strength.
My mom was a half devil, and it's like, what does that mean?
What?
My dad is known as the demon of like Okinawa or whatever, and now he's breeding with a half devil woman. This ain't.
That's a power couple, literally.
I'm trying.
That is literally a power couple.
That is the end. That is the first and the last
That's
storm.
unstoppable force and immovable object.
So we learn that Shin and Noi, though they love the violence, the sexy violence, oh my god, you better be down for the fucking violence in this show. If you don't jerk off to car crash footage, get out. And so they don't use magic against non-magic users, though. They've got
That's
honor.
like a rule.
They're like, that's fucking like...
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up. It's like beating up a kid in a wheelchair.
That's not fair.
That's not right.
Exactly. I love the ethics with some of these characters.
The ethics. You can take your ethics and put them in a bottle and throw them to the bottom of the fucking ocean on this show, bro. There's no ethics. These people are all varying degrees of lock them up forever in a padded room.
Not ethics, but like they have their own like restrictions. You know what I mean?
So
because they're under somebody else's jurisdiction.
So Kaimon coming into his job at the magical hospital. His boss is like, "Hey, you see that bag there?" And it's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Get rid of that, will you? Like, throw that out." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And Kaimon picks it up and he's like, "This is a dude." And the dude's like, "I'm still alive." And he's like, "You're a bag of body parts. Like, you're a trash bag filled with body parts." And he's like, "I certainly am. And it doesn't seem like things are going to get any better for me. So you might as well just do what your boss said. Throw me in the incinerator." And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I've said it multiple times at this point. I said it at Roachman.
It's like, it's no big deal. Death, it's not a big deal.
This is, yeah, there's just no...
And that's what's more impressive is that you still care about all these characters, you know?
You care about them more than they care about themselves.
Right.
Like the more
It's weird. It's a weird paradox going on.
The love that you may feel for something like, I don't know, your favorite item on a Taco Bell menu, or I don't know, your most comfy set of socks, far and away trumps the love that a mother feels for her child in this universe. Like, there's just no love, no empathy, no rock for mercy to hide under. Like, there's just nothing. Like,
there's no guarantee.
It is this is up there with Berserk. This is a top 10 terrifying worlds to live in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would, if you said you got to either live in the land of the Band of the Hawk, you've got to live in Shiniganshima, or you've got to live in Trost, or you've got to live in the Hole, and it's like, oh man. The only, you know what's funny is Trost is the only one where my life has a chance of getting better. But yeah, so fucking, I don't know, man. So they get Abisu, this super sexy Final Fantasy VII outfit. They need to disassemble the rebel groups. Mr. N's talking to his crew. He's like, "Shin, Noi, get in here. Abisa, Fujitsu. Accidentally super racist. But no, it's like, "Fujita, Abisu, all of my gruntlings, get in here." And the whole time Fujita's like, "Man, I suck compared to these guys." And it's like, well, with that attitude, you certainly do. Mm-hmm. But he's like, "You got to disassemble these rebel groups. This shit needs to end, and just make it happen quick." And he dispatches them. Mr. N's not a micromanager. He's hands off. He likes to trust his people to do their own work.
Boss.
And they go to meet that bartender who's totally a mind flayer. Like, totally got the octopus head, and he's just spitting all over their drinks. He's like, "Fuck, man, I hate being an octopus. It sucks." And Kaiman's like, "Thank God I'm a crocodile, man." Like,
I shake my head when I saw that.
I felt it really.
I was just
It really hammers home the brute, like that you in that world you see someone who got like their lower half turned into a lollipop, and you just like step over it. You know that you can't fix them. You can't. Like, this guy with
it's
a
like
fucking.
Everybody has a Wabbajack, you know. It's like having a Glock. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's got an octopus head, and he has to wake up and figure out how to live his life each day. He's got to go and put on his shirt, slobber
and
all
get
over
hired
it,
somewhere,
and go pull. Yeah, like he's got to go
live paycheck to paycheck.
It doesn't fucking.
He has to move on with his problems.
It just doesn't stop.
Not in the hole, man.
Not in the
It
fuck-
doesn't stop in the hole.
Nikaido, Jesus Christ, some guys try to rob Nikaido, and this is just such senseless violence. This show just, women love violence, dude. I said it when the women's league of the UFC kicked on. I was like, this is gonna be big because women like violence way more than men. They just like,
Oh yeah, those girls can get it on.
right?
They get it on. The best fights happen in the women's division.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
If women could,
It's the most competitive division.
if the women could physically kill the men in the manners that they wish they could, oh my God, it would be just like.
Oh, it would be terrifying.
It would be. Just,
It wouldn't be fair.
It's not fair. These.
You know why it's not fair.
It's
We all know why it's not fair.
But yeah, so Nikaido, I mean, this is the whole, and if you haven't learned yet, Nikaido responds to a man saying basically like, give us all your stuff. She cuts his fucking head off.
Like no
Like
hesitation.
Like thinks it's funny.
Like it's almost like muscle memory. Like just
killing with a smile on.
Yeah.
Everyone this entire anime, murder, like choking people to death, blood getting sprayed on their faces.
on the way to the grocery store.
They are all
and on the way
smiling.
back maybe.
They go looking for this acupuncturist, and Kaiman, it's funny because Kaiman's like, I'm gonna kill this acupuncturist, and he's like, wait a minute, like I've never hurt a human. Dude, I'm a fortune teller. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm like, literally don't kill people. And he's like, Kaiman's like, you're still a sorcerer, man. I can't risk it. But he does give Nikaido a prediction where he's like, I feel like you're going to have heart trouble. Cut to Shin wearing his heart mask. And I was like, you dog. Netflix, you dog. But yeah. And so those are the first 2 episodes, man. This show, it really, I don't know, I'm dick deep. I thought, and this is the thing that got me, is I thought that this show was going to just be 12 episodes long. And I really...
It doesn't feel like 12 episodes long either.
You think...
Because so much happens in like such a compacted...
Yeah. So we cut to the next episode, which I thought was going to be a fucking... I thought this was going to be a filler, where they're just like, yeah, there's so much goddamn rampant magic in this universe that every year, when the moon is high, just
Like
arbitrarily, this, like, no one is doing this. No one is particularly causing this, but just arbitrarily, the dead rise from the ground and kill off, like, 5% of our population.
Oh yeah, it's a holiday.
And it's like, so, you know, you get
It's
off
like a
work.
purge or something.
You stealth Terminators are employed by the city. It's like, hey, do you want to be a stealth Terminator this year, son? It's like a cool gig. But because they say in the prior episode, they say that it doesn't ever rain in the sorcerer's world. And the rain that happens in the hole is actually not rain, but it's just that the magic of the smoke floats into the upper atmosphere of the hole, collects in clouds, and rains down on them. And so the smoke, the magical smoke, becomes rain, rains into the ground, infects the dead, and after a year of magical rain, it
brings back the dead. And that's why death isn't a big deal, I guess.
Dude, being a zombie is definitely not the same.
I know, but it's like they talk to these people. Because the zombies are people too. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. They let out a little bit of key knowledge here. You get that Shin used to be a normal in the hole until they found out that he had magic. And you get this funny line where Kaiman's like, look at the fucking sneakers on these monks. And none of the monks, they pan the camera to the monks' shoes. Because it's the monks that are blessing the salt that they throw on the zombies to kill them. And he's like... They're not wearing wooden shoes and kimonos. All the monks are wearing, like, Levi's and Jordans.
The streetwear stuff is kind of weird.
But he's
I'm
like,
into it.
it's hard to run in wooden sandals.
I was, like, looking at this. I was like, is that Levi's? Like, I was like, are those Levi's?
Yeah. This and I'm not talking about Attack on Titan, bro. But yeah, so They get plates for killing the dead. Jesus, I'm infected. I'm infected with magic.
COVID.
The zombies are raiding the city. Meanwhile, the cleaners, as I've taken to call them, Fujita, Bisu, Shin, and Noi, the cleaners, they come into the hole, and Noi's doing that Japanese arm thing. I made a note of it. She's like,
Oh, the Goku.
The
stretch.
strong man. Why am I always doing that? Man?
Feels good.
It does. It doesn't feel good when I do it.
You don't do it?
I do it every day.
Yeah, me too.
I do it like 7. It doesn't ever do anything.
So why do you question it?
Does it feel different for Japanese people in the way that basketball feels different for black people?
We stretch. Japanese people stretch.
Okay.
We stretch in school. I'm not. We do a stretch in school.
That's what we need.
Yeah, we do need that. Honestly, we do it every morning. It's like our national anthem.
But this is where we learn about Noi's power. And I'm not going to lie, this power is fucking hacks. Fucking bullshit hacks. Noi can just heal anyone from anything at any point in time. Like, you can bring Noi, like, a fingernail, and she can just, like, recreate your whole body, basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of not fair. She can also heal herself.
She's pretty OP.
She's,
Well, she can die, though.
if you, like, throw her in a volcano.
She got shot in the head, remember?
She healed herself.
No, they had to, like, bring her to, like, Chota. And bring her back.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right.
She died. She got shot in the head.
I guess so.
So she can't heal herself. I thought that was the whole... I thought she couldn't heal herself.
I thought she healed herself after getting shot in the head.
No, she got... Remember she was, like, dead? They had to, like, bring her back. They're like, shit, she's fucking, you know?
Yeah.
And they had to bring her to Chota, and Chota had to, like, come up with, like, a serum.
Well, so anyway, I don't know. The cleaners and the crew, I don't know, we gotta come up with the whole crew. The whole gang.
Go through them all.
Well, no, the cleaners and the whole gang, they run into each other. And I was surprised because I thought Kaiman was going to put up more of a fight. And he gets his ass beat.
Both of them do.
Yeah, but fighting Noi is, like, not fair. It's, like, straight up. Like, there's a handful of anime characters.
Yeah, this whole time they're just kicking ass until they meet these two.
Yeah, it's just they're chopping down zombies. They're kicking ass. They're trying to win prizes for the plates. They're like, they're trying to win them like on some Dave and Buster's shit. Like,
it feels like Gantz a little bit.
Yeah,
in that sense.
But then they run into the cleaners, and it's just straight. I mean, Noi doesn't like to use her powers even, but it's still.
She likes to win by strength, by pure effort and strength. Mm-hmm. She prefers to.
She likes to clap them cheeks.
Like, if she doesn't have to use her magic, then she won't.
So yeah, Noi versus Kaiman, good fight. But this is where you learn, because they all are getting their asses whooped. Kaiman gets his head ripped off. And it's like, well, end of show.
Yeah.
There it is, guys.
But it's a lizard, though.
But he a lizard. Lizards can't grow their heads back, bro.
I know, but they could grow their limbs back, you know what I mean? It's a humanoid fucking lizard. Anything is in the realm of possibilities in this fucking show, man. Come on.
But Nikaido reveals that she's a sorcerer because she creates a door. She creates a Monsters, Inc. scare door, and she, like, dips them out of the situation. And then the next day, Kaiman's head grows back. It's like, very...
No
like,
big deal.
NBD, bro. But... yeah, so we get this reveal that Nikaido's a sorcerer, and you're just like, what the fuck? And you know what? I kind of didn't think too much about it, honestly. Like,
about what?
That I thought Nikaido being a sorcerer. I thought Nikaido being a sorcerer. I didn't think she was going to be the sorcerer, you know?
Not at all.
That threw me for a fucking loop. And I'm normally on the lookout for shit like that, you know? Like come
yeah.
on. Who's like, whenever an anime begins, like 5 seconds into Dorohedoro, I was almost like, who is Kaiman's father? And why is how could Mr. N be Kaiman's father? If that's is there some way
Has Star Wars traumatized you?
Nikaido is Kaiman's mother on the run from Mr. N, who's Kaiman's father, and he can't use magic because they locked his magic away because he's really the most powerful sorcerer? I was ready. You know, I buckled the fuck up for that type of shit.
So that just deserves more props.
But so they get the fuck out of there. They try to dissect the head, but the head it gets stolen after. Well, it gets stolen after Nikaido explains to Kaiman what happened when she found him. When Kaiman's like, "How did our friendship start again?" And she's like, "I found a dead body, and I put it in a body bag." And then you stepped out of the body bag with your head. And I figured maybe someone ate the body or something. Like, I just like, she's like, I kind of, you know, it's like when you catch your spouse cheating and it's like, I kind of just like wasn't trying to think too hard about it.
Yeah. It just
I was
happened.
like, it's like the DirecTV guy, it's taken him four chances to install this dish. I don't know. It seemed like the dish was working after the first time he was here, but like, you know, I'm sure it had to calibrate it or something. Sure, that dish had to be calibrated. Yeah. That dish had to be calibrated. And so, but she's like, actually, now I think that corpse was your corpse, Kaiman. I mean, I don't find many like 6'8" dudes stacked like you. I don't find The Rock laying around. Dwayne Johnson's headless body laying around in alleyways very often.
How could you? Well, you could tell, I guess. But
if you cut The Rock's head off, could you not tell that was The Rock's body?
I mean, tattoos, I guess, but like, doesn't Kaiman, like, isn't his, like, the rest of his body like completely normal skinned human, like?
Well, he's like jacked.
Yeah, it's not like scaly lizard skin. It's like normal human skin.
This concept is fucked. I don't know what mental hospital Q Hayashida came from, man. Just the idea, like
super Frankenstein-ish, like just sew that bitch on, like.
And it ends. It ends with this is the first comedic moment from Mr. N. Where he's like, check out these new brooms that I'm making. And he's like, they're super fast. They get great gas mileage. They're also great brooms.
I got so confused in that scene. I was like, why? It's like, is this important?
That he sells brooms?
Yeah. And his, like, assistant or whatever is like, yes, it's a good fastest. Broom. And it also featured some crazy ass shit that I couldn't.
It's powered by your smokes, mister. But no, when he's like, it's also a great broom. I was like, this.
And it's like it looks like Kaneda's fucking, like, motorcycle type shit.
It's great. It can sweep like 20 square meters in like 30 seconds or something. Dude, it's crazy. It's such a good broom.
It looks like a flying, like, red fucking, like, transformer.
We get a new ending after this, which I thought was kind of baller. But, so then this is when, like, the big whole bunch of stuff starts happening here. And it's kind of weird because I started half of these episodes saying to myself, are these filler? Like, is this zombie episode, like... Is this plot intensive? This is a zombie episode. What's going on here? It made me... This is one of the animes that I've said I've got to go read the manga on. Like, because the manga finished, like, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2018.
And so I just need to finish. Because I'm not going to wait. And this is a crazy enough story that I want to get to the end of it.
Yeah, you want to get some questions answered.
And there's just certain moments that happen that made me feel like I'm missing something from the manga. The biggest example of which it comes later on, but all of these episodes, like Turkey. The fuck is Turkey?
What happened in that episode?
Well, they're like, we need to figure out who the cleaners are like, we need to figure out who this lizard head fuck is. And they're like, well, we can make a clone of him and then follow that clone as it attempts to follow itself back to where it came from. And they're like, how are we going to do that? And he's like, don't worry, I've got a friend. His name is Turkey. And they introduce Turkey, a man with a turkey for a head. And I'm like, what? What is this? And he's like, yeah, you just take a little bit of your thoughts and memories. You take a little bit of magic, some rosemary, a little bit of feta cheese, perhaps, some breadcrumbs, some stuffing, and you got yourself a living doll that you can just do whatever the hell you want. You can look at his dick.
It was a service. Like, you just go to him and you get that done.
The fact that the guy comes out like dripping wet, like, and you know, this has happened to me before when they made that clone of Kikyo in Inuyasha. And they're like, what's this clone of Kikyo? And it's like, oh, well, it was made by some demon out of like dirt and bones and stuff. And you're like, oh, how long's this shit gonna last? And 100 episodes later, that same Skelebone clone is still fucking faffing about. You know, and you're like, Kikyo, for real? Like, wait a minute. Is that the same Dirt and Bones clone from episode like 7? And it's like they didn't even kill her at all. You know? She's basically like, Inuyasha, just go date this Dirt and Bones version of your girl. And when they recreate the clone that we're going to learn is called Risu. I thought he was going to be around for like a minute. I thought he was going to be around for one episode.
No, he's the main part of the plot.
I didn't think that Turkey was going to be this story critical. Like, I am incapable of telling where the jokes begin and the plot intensive stuff ends. So Turkey creates this Risu clone. They're following it around. They find a head in a safe. Risu finds his own head in a safe, and you presume that you're like, wait, what the fuck did
even this? I expected a clear answer from the cleaners.
You thought you were gonna get what was in the basement,
and they didn't know. They're like, why does he have a head in his... That's the reaction to that. And it pissed me off. Like, I don't know. It was like...
So, and then this is one of the many moments that we get. We go to this necromancer party. And this is flies, bro. What? We get flies in the hole. And this is... The necromancer party is when I realized every bag of trash... Every piece of rotting food, and there's a lot of it in this anime. Flies buzzing. Every child with an unwashed face, flies around everyone. Everyone with an unwiped asshole in this anime, flies. They go to this necromancer party, and I'm like, these are some fucking ideas. Dorohedoro, don't let anyone ever say you have anything but ideas.
And charm.
My nigga. So many ideas in this anime. A necromancer party where everyone brings their favorite corpse? What? This is... Hell yeah! That's like, how'd you get the cathedral ceiling painted to look like it's like a shimmering mass of like television fuzz? And it's like, it's fucking flies! Like, what? And Mr. N's like, plug your nose, it stinks in here. And Shin and Noi fucking are eating at a buffet table that is placed beneath a dead man. There are corpses hung upside down by their ankles, and Shin and Noi are just pigging
casually.
out at the buffet table at this fucking necromancer party. This gross shit. This nasty.
It's a necromancer party, man.
What did you expect?
Yeah.
And so we learned that these guys, we learned about the presence of black smoke, black powder, which is like cocaine.
Yeah, it's like
magic enhancing drugs.
And very few sorcerers have it.
Cop pulling you over, it's like, you got any magic enhancing drugs in here, pal?
Yeah.
And
apparently, it's not good for you if it's not your smoke.
And that Abisu had a history of doing this shit.
No, she produces it.
Yeah, she
like sells it.
She sells her smoke.
Yeah.
But that's different from she meets that pirate looking motherfucker and he's like, "Hey, black powder like last time."
The old guy that in the shop?
Yeah. No, the guy in the secret room that she accidentally murders. He puts some black powder in her martini and she drinks it and then kills him by accident.
Oh yeah.
Right. But when he does that because he's like, "Hey, black powder like last time." He's like, "It's more powerful or something than it was." But you're like, Abisu's like 15 and doing drugs? Where are the parents? Really? No, like, where
in this world?
Her parents probably fucking dead. Long times. She probably killed him. Honestly, that seems to be the trend. But,
or no parents.
So, there's girls doing drugs. The necromancer is doing drugs so that she has the power to bring these people back to life. And intends to, he's like, "I'm going to get me a fucking necromancer." Like, I've been checking Tinder every day for a necromancer girl. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to let this one slip through my fingers. And then when he's like, "Girl, you doing drugs though?" And he shrooms that bitch. This is one of many a person that you're like, damn, you can just shroom them like that? And when he shroomed this woman at her own party, surrounded by what I would presume were people who loved or cared about her, I was like, all right, wait a minute now. I hope we get an episode that explains like the legal structure of the sorcerer world. Like, I hope we get an episode that kind of...
I don't think there is a sense of justice in this world.
And I'll get to that, because...
I think it's lawless.
So... Basically, the big thing that happens after this is we find out that the girl's psychic powers actually came from a demon that possessed her in the form of a tumor named Kikurage. Which then gets reincarnated into a pig demon, which then becomes Mr. N's pet.
And that fucked with me.
Well,
that was like...
Because Mr. N is deadly serious for the first 2 episodes. You get to episodes 3, and he's like, "And this is my broom." And you're like, wait a minute. This guy's supposed to be the big bad boss. And then this episode, he's like, "Kikurage. I'll name her Kikurage." And then you're like, wait a minute now.
And he's like a gentle giant all of a sudden. He's back to his cuddly... Yeah, it's weird.
And then we cut to Kaiman is looking for this professor, Professor Kusakabe. Professor Kusakabe, who will go down in history as a genuine badass. One of the all-time greats.
Sure.
But they get to his mansion, and they're like, "I heard you're a professor who studies sorcerers." And he's like, "Sure do." And they're like, "Do you have a way to get to the sorcerer's world?" And he's like, "Sure do." And it's like, "How do you?" And he's like, "Well, I just I just stitched a bunch of their bodies together and kind of you guys don't think I'm weird, right?" And it's like, "Not at all." And it's like, "Well, I made a door of flesh and bone out of living I stitched a bunch of living dudes together into the shape of a door and then harnessed their magic to create a portal." And it's like, "Oh, they were still alive, you say?" And it was important that they stayed. I actually had to put one of them on life support during the procedure because it was critical that he stayed alive.
And he's passionate about it too.
It was critical that he stayed awake while I took his spinal cord out. And you're just like, what? Nice, dude. Relentless.
He's like, they volunteered.
This girl, the author of Dorohedoro, this lady has some some
Ideas.
anger in her.
She's got a lot of ideas.
I would not cross her. I would not cross Q Hayashida for all the money, for all the tea in China.
I want to see what's inside of that head,
She's going to see what's inside of your fucking head, bro, after she hits it with a hammer. Like,
literally.
she's scary. This girl's scary. I like it, though. I love it. This is a level of spooky that you don't see normally. So, and this, okay, so this is getting to where I was talking about, where I'm like, Kaiman is crazy as ball sacks. Because he's like, all right, got a way to the sorcerer world. Guess I'm going to go there and try to kill as many people as possible.
I didn't expect that.
I know. I was like, oh, we've got a way to the sorcerer world. Now it's like
he's going to assemble the team.
I need to get the I thought we were going to get like an Avengers.
Yeah, you're going on the other side,
Oh, the other side. I thought like we might go through that door. When they introduced the door, I was like, we might go through that door as like the last frame of the last episode of this season. Yeah. And then the next episode, they're like, we're going through this fucking door. I was like, holy shit, dude. I understand being angry, and I get that magic doesn't work on you, but they have guns. It's just hard to fight 4 dudes at once, man. You get tired. It would be hard to fight like 3 cops, dude. And I'm saying if you were like an MMA fighter, and it's like you against like difficult. 3 average cops, and they've just got their billy clubs or whatever, and it's like this is
3 is too much.
3 is 2 guys who know how to fight, and it's like, oh.
2 guys is like, you might get away with it.
Yeah.
If you're really good,
But yeah, they're going in. They're going to go, and they're going to go fuck it up. They enter the sorcery world. There's people doing surgery. They're like, get surgery to increase your smoke output. Fujita is having we cut from there, the gang entering the sorcery world, to Fujita under a bridge. And this is my fucking favorite moment of the anime, where it's like, Fujita's getting bullied, rightfully so, because they're like, you let Matsumoto get killed, you little bitch! And he's like, no, Matsumoto was my friend! And it's like, no, fuck this clown up, he did let Matsumoto get killed, he sucks! He sucks! So they're bullying him, they're like, and he's, and if you didn't think Fujita was a bitch before, he's like, Mr. N's not gonna like hearing about this. He doesn't even like say it with authority. Yeah, he doesn't even say like, fucking put your hands on me and Mr. N's gonna shroom your ass. Dude, he shrooms indiscriminately. He doesn't care. He would shroom me in the splash damage of shrooming you two.
Yeah.
So back the fuck up. But he's like, Mr. N's gonna not want to hear about this.
Yeah, and if he's gonna like suck on his nipples afterwards,
Listen, if I was watching that fight through my phone, just as a recorder, like just a hapless recorder, maybe screaming world star hip hop, I'm like, kick that fool in the stomach for saying that
again.
Like, that boy's a bitch.
Shut him up.
But you know what you get? You know what you get when you got friends in Mr. N's places? You get yourself a bully sandwich. And that's what happens. Fucking Shin punches this dude's heart out, and Noi karate chops the other one in half. These are both little boys. These are both like teenagers.
Yeah.
There is no mercy. Noi karate chops the teenage boy in half. And then they slap his 2 dead bodies. They slap him on his fucking friend. And then they punch his friend's heart out, and they say, here's your bully sandwich. And I'm like, that was the moment. That was the moment when I was like, oh, okay.
That's your one-liner?
The sorcerer's world has to have no rules. This is broad daylight children. You're telling me there's no retribution for this. There's no one who is coming to defend those kids' honor. You can just murder 2 teenagers for effectively being rude.
Effectively just being youthful.
in the middle of the day in a populated city,
They were just being children.
walking away with your suit just covered in blood, just caked in blood, walking into a 7-Eleven and just asking for a paper towel.
Yeah, just leaving the bodies there.
just leaving them.
And the guys tomorrow will clean it. The city will clean it up, you know?
Yeah, this world was scary before, and I double down on it when Kaiman is dealing with when Kaiman starts to work at the bakery and his boss kills all of those men.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, there's not a hierarchy here. There's not like, you killed my friend, I'm going to call somebody to prevent you from doing this again. There's just like, if you call the police in the sorcerer world, they're like, oh, did you kill him? And it's like, no. And it's like, well, if you couldn't stop him, what makes you think we
There has
could?
been no sign of police in this world.
There's
been not even a thought of authority.
And so, Mr. N killed millions of people? At least hundreds
On
of
accident.
thousands. And everyone knows that he did it. And there's like no families that are upset. There's no like.
Well, I bet there is, but they just get turned into mushrooms when they try to do something about it. Is there ever been such a might makes right anime world? And I'm serious. I don't think there's. I don't. In Dragon Ball, the Supreme Kai's answer to someone. Right.
The gods answer to someone.
There's civilization there.
In Bleach, everyone answers to someone. There's no this is peak lawlessness to a level that was actually hard for me to wrap my brain around for a second. Where it wasn't even like, oh, well, if you're super strong, there's like the cops don't mess with you. It's like, no, you don't understand. This is true libertarianism. There is not even the fundamental. You are only as strong as you are.
Yeah.
Only you can defend yourself, and no one will come to
Natural
aid you.
selection is a thing.
Your
That's the law, natural selection.
Your best friends will very quickly abandon you if they assess that you are getting into a fight that they cannot win. Like, your best friend, you will be killed in the middle of New York City, and there will be no vengeance. There will be no retribution. There will just be the acknowledgement that the person who killed you is the person at the top, and everyone will just try to figure out how to live the rest of their fucking lives. And I'm like, oh, this is I don't know of an anime reality that's as dismal as this. Like,
come on. I mean, what about Violent Jack?
Violent Jack?
Yeah, that's a pretty lawless world.
Fist
Fist of the North Star? Lawless world.
In Fist of the North Star, you have men like Kenshiro who are walking around at least trying, at least having the memory of what a society looked like. Like,
yeah, there's no vengeance story here. This is not a revenge story.
This is just people are mean. And when given unchecked mutant X-Men like abilities, there would just be people getting turned into pillars of salt left and right, and I'll be damned if your piddly little gun is gonna defend you from this. Like,
most of this show is just people trying to bring each other back alive or trying to turn back to a human.
This is a show about learning to cope with loss.
Yeah. This show is about figuring it out.
But yeah, this is absolutely crazy. So, getting back to that, Kaiman steals a magic carpet, just effortlessly kills a man to save $10. This is where we're at. Kaiman can't afford a magic carpet ride, so he kills the sorcerer.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought Kaiman had a little bit of human sense of, you know. I thought of him as an anti-hero. He's a little bit relatable. But no, he isn't. He's not. He fucking murders and maims his way through life. Because he seems like such a nice guy, you know?
Yeah, they go...
I thought Kaiman understood, you know, like, treat others the way you don't want to be treated.
No. He got turned into a snake man, and so to him, the fact that he's alive is an accident, and any sorcerer's life deserves to be ended.
Yeah, he has a heart. Oh, well, I guess that's where the, like, prejudice comes from.
And I mean, I can't blame him for how he's acting. Being raised, if I was raised in the hole, bro, I'd be killing people for cans of beans. Like, and so
that's what the equivalent of murder is, a can of beans.
But, and I can't say I wouldn't be like, fuck these sorcerers. Like, how could you not think fuck these sorcerers? Like, how could you not? I mean, because you don't know which ones are the one. You have to assume any sorcerer that's got magic learned it by practicing on people. That's all you know. That's all you know about the sorcerer world.
Yeah, they've done it before.
But so the cleaners are raiding a cross-eyed base because they're like, we got to figure out what's going on with these cross-eyes. The cross-eyes are thinking the cross-eyes. We're gonna learn the cross-eyes are the source behind the black powder. Across all these episodes,
yeah,
the cross-eyes are the source of the black powder. The cleaners are going to investigate, and they just shithouse them. It's a fucking... We learn Shin and Noi's powers. Shin being able to disassemble things. Very Chisaki, if you ask me. For anyone who's watched the newest season of My Hero Academia, not gonna lie, some fucking red flags thrown up in this season.
Yeah. But this was a 90s thing, so...
So My Hero must have ripped them off.
I mean, it's a conceived power, dude. Right? I mean, JoJo did it.
There was a disassembler in JoJo? Oh yeah, Bucciarati.
Yeah.
Are you up there yet?
Not really.
Okay. Well, yeah, and we learned that Noi is Wolverine. She's utterly hacks. She breaks the rules of the game. It's not fair. It's practically... She's got a game shark. It's just not fucking fair. But we get this cool-ass combination attack where this guy dissolves Shin's arm, and then Noi grows it back in time for him to kill the guy with a hammer.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. The way these deaths go is just so they get more creative, I feel, as the show fucking goes on.
From finger break to bully sandwich,
It's
is like
chopping people in half.
Oh my god. Ibisu losing her face. You're like, oh my god. Hayashida. Can Quentin Tarantino just give her like a $45 million budget? And can they just put some direct-to-DVD fucking shit out there on Netflix?
Yeah, because that's like a trick shot.
Something that can be rated M, doesn't have to go through the MPAA rating system. Like, don't give me that rated R bullshit. Throw it straight on Netflix with the blood and the titties. Just, like, come on. Don't give me Charlize Theron in the fucking old guard. Give me the people what they want. I'm freaking out over here. But, so yeah. This is where we get, God, so much satanic imagery in this episode. So, Kaiman goes to this restaurant. It's got a toilet to hell. I'm like, toilet to hell? What the fuck? Nikaido is going to see a devil, her childhood devil.
That was
Asu.
so, like, pointless. The toilet scene.
Is
Like,
it?
where...
Do you know if it's not going to come up later? Because, bro, I don't know what matters anymore.
I thought that was just pure fun. That was just pure, just goofs and gaffs, in my opinion. It's literally like there's like a warning sign where it's like, oh, don't pull or stand up before you pull the lever because it'll release the fires from hell to burn your shit.
Hell stylish.
Literally,
toilet.
you don't remember that?
No, I do. I was just like...
It's literally like a giant devil's mouth.
And then 30 seconds
And a
after,
chain-
you're
and a
going to hear
chain
the
lever.
scream of agony.
And it's like, bro.
It's like, neat. Japanese.
Yeah, and
This
Kaiman's
is-
like, I'm not going to read that sign.
This is the scene where if someone walks in on you watching this show, you've got a little bit of explaining to do.
Yeah, I feel like they would have that in like Billy and Mandy or some shit, you know?
So Nikaido is seeing her personal devil, Asu, and she's like, Asu, so much shit's going on. And Asu's like, you know what's weird is I don't know who did that shit to Kaiman. And I kind of know everything. Like, I can actually... Devils are weird in this anime. I want to touch on this.
Yeah.
So devils are humans.
There's no the devil. There's multiple devils. And they're part of this society called the Cheetorama.
No, Cheetorama is the head devil. They all live in what's called the house. And the devil, Asu, all the devils...
Well, they consult each other.
Yes. So every devil, I guess, knows everything that's happening at all times. Except... From the way it seems, it's that every devil can know everything that's happening, but a devil only sees what they are looking for. Because you go to a devil and you'll say something like, a devil isn't thinking, where the fuck are your car keys? A devil's never thinking, where the fuck are your car keys? But if you went up to a devil and you said, where are my car keys? Your devil could be like, here's where your car keys are. And then as soon as you find him, but it's like he never gave a shit. He wasn't thinking about him. I don't know what devils are thinking about, but that seems to be the rules of how they work.
What do you mean? Of course the devil won't give a shit about your car keys.
Well, because she goes up to her devil, Asu, and she asks the devil if he knows who did whatever to Kaiman, and the devil's like, I don't know who did that shit to Kaiman, but I can say I think it's weird that you're dealing with all of this weird stuff. And she's like, I'm going to go meet up with Mr. N and them. And he's like, well, Mr. N's in the meeting right now. Like, the devil...
he cares about Mr. N.
But I'm saying the devil comments on a thing that is occurring at that exact moment. Showing that devil somehow is able to know something that is literally occurring at that exact moment in a different place.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the devil's...
Omnipotent.
Yeah, so they're not they're omnipotent but not omnipresent. And so that's what I'm trying to get at, because it's like it's a weird thing, because the anime never like explicitly tells you this shit. They say the devils...
I didn't really think too deep into that.
They just say that the devils know everything, but the devils don't know everything because they don't know who turned Kaiman into a lizard. It's like the only thing he doesn't seem to know. But so it's like they can't think of everything, but they can see everything that's happening.
Okay, so that's what Chota meant. Okay. Because he was like telling Kaiman, like, oh, you didn't even know that? You didn't even know devils know everything?
Yeah.
You know, and Kaiman doesn't seem to know anything about sorcerers in that manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Kaiman doesn't seem to be educated about, like, what's going on around him, really. He just cares of whether or not he could kill well.
And so devils seem to be sorcerers who chose a life of asceticism. Because to become a devil, you have to be a sorcerer who completed a very vigorous trial, the last step of which is you are not allowed to use magic for a solid year under any circumstances. And that's in addition to doing things like you have to climb mountains without gear. You have to, I don't know. You have to do a lot of feats of strength.
Is that really the rules of this world? Is to become a devil? Did they explain that in the show?
Yeah. Well, we learned that Noi was going to become a devil, and Shin invalidated her chance to be a devil literally like 1 week, like 2 days before she was going to become... She had grown horns and had grown a tail as a result of her not using her magic for over a year. And she had been hauling bats up the side of mountains to feed them. And these were like bats that were the size of people. And she had to climb mountains that, like, completely without any gear. And so she had apparently been working on becoming a devil for
It's like no wonder why she looks like that.
several years of her life.
And Shin's trying to become one too.
He is?
Wasn't he?
No.
I thought that's why they were that, like, you know, they had that physique or whatever.
No, Shin's just a hitman.
I just assumed because they were both. Because when they were working at N's restaurant, like, weren't they trying to both become?
No. Shin was just happy being a hitman, and Noi wanted to become a devil. But then she became a hitman when she lost her chance to be a devil.
Yeah, because she used magic.
Yeah. So Nikaido and Noi. So Nikaido breaks into the house and she starts to fight with Noi. She slips past her and she goes for Risu. Risu is like super angry about the fact that he's dead. He's very much like, I was stabbed in the back. I don't know who killed me, but I know it was one of my friends. And you're like, where are you getting this shit from? They give him a mechanical body.
A sad one.
Yeah, it's... Then Nikaido punches N in the mouth, and he accidentally shrooms the entire building.
Yeah, because he gets just he got so mad.
He gets so startled.
Just rage. He raged quick.
Yeah. So Risu is like losing his mind over the fact that he was double crossed. Whereas Nikaido is escaping from the building, but she gets a mushroom on her back. We find out that in the hole 10 years ago, there was this thing called the Neighborhood Association. And I thought that was like super cool that it had such an innocuous name as the Neighborhood Association. It's like, what are you? It's like, I'm part of the Neighborhood Association. It's like, what do you do? It's like, we drag people out of their fucking beds and we fucking cut their heads off, man. Like,
it's the most normal, like,
we find
monitored sounding, like, name.
We're the Neighborhood Association. It's like, how many people have you doused in gasoline and like set on fire this year? And it's like, I think 200-300. Like, but yeah, I thought it was. We learned that there's the Neighborhood Association and that Shin's mother was beaten to death for being a sorcerer by the Neighborhood Association. She might have had some bullshit power. I don't know. She didn't use it to defend herself.
Yeah.
And we learn that
they kill his dad too.
They kill his dad for being a for being a sorcerer lover. I was trying to think of like what's like a slur for a magic user. It's like, you're a fucking smoker.
Twinkle toes, fucking, I don't know, fairy bitch.
Well, you see, because they shoot black smoke out of magic wands, we call them pole smokers.
Pole smokers.
But so Nikaido is sprouting this mushroom on her back, and Kaiman is trying to fucking get her to safety, but he's fighting with a gigantic bug that got infected with all of the excessive magic that's going on. We learned that this giant bug's name is Johnson later on.
I was so horrified. It's a bug.
It's a bug with sneakers.
It's a bug with Jordans, dude.
It's a bug
Those
with
are
Jordans.
J's.
Fuck that.
And he wears like a Steelers hat. What is it? And he lives in the sewer.
Something about a bug wearing like not even small Jordans, like size 13s. It was.
No, they were Dunk Highs. I know exactly what J's those are.
It was fucking gross, man.
That's my first impression of him.
But yeah. So, but they're like, we got to get out of here. Homegirl's like fucking sprouting a mushroom on his back. Oh, I forgot to mention before all this though, Nikaido sold her smoke to a fucking pawn shop, which is fucking weird because this guy.
It's her little side hustle.
He looks at her
She
smoke.
has to pay bills to keep the gyoza store.
It's great because Nikaido goes to sell her smoke, and she's like, "How much can I get for this?" And it's like going into a pawn shop, and you like pull one of your like gold teeth out, and you put it on the counter, and he looks at it. He goes into the back, like puts it under his like magnifying glass, and comes back, and he's like, "I'll basically suck all the cum out your dick,
Yeah.
I'll do anything. Like
He's like, I'll empty out my bank account for this.
I'll kill my
I'll
wife.
be right back.
Do you want me to kill my wife? Because I'll kill my fucking wife." And Nikaido's like, "I actually just needed to see where you kept the money. Because I'm robbing you."
Yeah.
And at first, I thought this was just because Nikaido was a generic scumbag like Kaiman. I thought she just didn't care. But no, we put a pin in this. It comes back later. But they're getting her to the dock because they're like, "Doc, this bitch is full of mushrooms. Like, we got to do something about it." And they cut the Man, I hate all the magic in this show. I don't want to get turned into a roach man. I don't want a mushroom sprouting out my back. I want nothing to do with any of this.
I mean, what happened to the guy's vocabulary?
I don't want
My boy Johnson. Who was Johnson before? Johnson.
I don't want to get
Out of all the people's names, like,
I don't want to get broken up into pieces.
was he like
and put in a
some
bag.
black guy like before? Like what?
But yeah, we learned that the devastation of the neighborhood association was met with Shin killing all of them, but not before he learned about his magic by cutting his arms up to find his smoke ducts. And the show really tries to pitch that this is a common thing. It's like, it's so common for wizards or for sorcerers to like cut their tips of their fingers off, look for smoke ducts, and if there's not a smoke duct there, you just keep cutting. And you just keep cutting back until you find your smoke ducts. And for Shin, it was all the way at like the middle of the fucking bicep. And he's like, "I found him." And it's like, good for you, pal.
I guess.
What? What? I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how fucking tough. I don't care how much like oxycodone you're on.
For magic, dude. For magic, though.
And I mean, knowing that magic doctors exist, it's weird, man. I can't imagine.
Mechanical arms exist in this world, man.
I can't imagine what like BMX biking must look like in a world where we know magic doctors exist. It's just people like throwing their bodies off of the side of mountains and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
we could make the ramps a little bit higher.
people, there's like an entire league of skydiving that has like no parachutes, where it's like seeing how high you can bounce. And it's just like,
See how much your blood can explode.
yeah, like who
when
can
you
make the
land.
biggest smear?
Who can make the
Wingsuiting.
biggest splash?
Wingsuit splash competition.
Olympics coming this
Yeah.
next year.
You come in on a wingsuit and then you hit the slip and slide and you go straight into a fucking brick wall. Magic necromancers, bro. It does. Who gives a shit?
Like they train their whole lives for this
Oh.
this moment.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Perfect form.
Dude. Call me a pussy, but I just don't think I got the balls to chop my arms off.
I'll do it for magic.
I would want to do it for magic, but my worry is that I would cut up to the elbows and then bitch out. Then be like, I don't want to do it. I'm just elbows, and I'm like, I don't want to go any further.
Dude, I'll cut my shoulder off, dude.
I mean, at that rate, just start at the shoulder. Start at the fucking shoulder then.
Nah, then what if the duct is like right there?
You
What if
just-
I'm right there, Nick?
Whatever, man. That's why Fujita is such a little bitch. Because his ducks are in his fingertips, and they're little baby bitchy fingertip ducks.
Yeah. And he can't do shit with his magic.
So we find out, I don't know if this is going to come back up in season 2, but we learn that there's people who harvest the black pearls out. If you kill a sorcerer, there's like a black pearl in the nape of their neck or some shit
Yeah.
that you can harvest. put a pin in that, because we're not gonna fucking get the answer.
We don't know.
We're not gonna get an answer this season, y'all. Maybe next year. But this is so we cut to the next episode where we learn that they're eating hot dogs for Matsumoto. Fujita's like, this one's for my friend. I feel like no one cares that he's dead but me. And honestly, everyone is like, get over it, dude.
It's your fault.
Like, but you know what it is, and this is why Fujita's a bitch. This is why he is A+ bitch material. Move over Zenitsu.
You think he was necessary in this show?
No. He's there to try to have this like meet cute love experience with Ebisu. And that's
the only reason why why anybody would give a shit that he's in
there,
because
this show was written by a woman, and I think she might have been trying to like dignify this category of man.
Notice how all the female characters aren't like sexualized.
They're not hung up.
They're not like in super tight bodysuits and shit. They're all in jumpsuits and they're all, athletic. I mean, Nikaido has a normal woman body, I guess, but she wears like a jumpsuit half the time. She doesn't show her like, boobs out. Her boobs aren't out all the time.
And I'm looking.
Yeah. And also Noi too. She's like a,
Ebisu
a lady, but
herself, though.
Yeah, but like
hard in a way that I was surprised.
Yeah, but not in the pathetic way though. Not like, oh, she's fucking hot. Like in like a 13-year-old trying to be a hot kind of thing, Like a 13-year-old trying to like, I mean, are we at Blue Light or Blue Night?
We're almost there. I can blast through this because this episode it's really that Matsumoto, they're crying. They're like, we got to eat these hot dogs from Matsumoto. Ebisu, we find out, has been selling her smoke on the side for cash.
Yeah, because it's rare smoke.
Yeah, they're like, apparently that lizard dish. Some guys want lizard dick, I guess. Like, I got to get that lizard dick. My wife's cloaca is aching for it.
It's weird how, like, she's been traumatized and, like, she got turned a little bit retarded,
Yeah.
But she could still sell her smoke on the side, though.
Fujita hits the height of his bitchery because he goes against Mr. N's wishes, and Fujita's like, get the 9. We're going to get this Kaiman motherfucker. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to fucking blast this lizard with my goddamn gat that my dad left me. Because that's how we do it. Because Fujita is throwing the signs at this point. He's repping the set. I don't know where this kid went to high school, but we need to do something about it. But yeah, and he's like, come on, Ebisu. Come on, for 2 more episodes, half-retarded girlfriend. Let's go. And she hits him with the elfin lie. She's like, "Mew."
Yeah.
But he grabs her. He's like, disguise yourself. And he throws her a piece of merch, if ever I've seen it. Disguise yourself, Ebisu. Take this I Love Hole shirt.
And she's like, no, it's ugly.
Tell you what, we're going to have these I Love Hole shirts for sale on the site. BokuNoPodcast.com/shop.
.net. .gov.
No.
.lib.
What are you doing?
Is that an actual real site that you bought?
We actually own it, yes.
Okay, nice. You got the domain?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I told you.
I mean, not officially.
Yeah, no, we got it. We're BokuNoPodcast.com is coming. We got it. But
what does it look like?
We've got to make it, bro. What do you mean? What is it? It's ours.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not officially there yet.
It will be. So this new guy comes in for some gyoza, a guy that we're going to learn his name 13. And he's like, Nikaido, oh my God, you're fucking like, you're so cool. Like, he's clearly there to fuck.
The skimpy, scrawny ass. That's annoying.
Yeah.
When a scrawny guy just wants to butt in,
I'm glad that
you think Kaiman's friend zoned?
Dude, I think that Kaiman... I think at this point you can't rule out that Nikaido is specifically into what Kaiman is putting down. Like, she's like, he gives it to me the way no other man can.
You think so?
Do you know any woman that's bringing? Did your girl bring you gyoza at work, bro?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No.
I gotta be real. I got a girl too, and
That's
I'm not
why
gonna
she's
lie.
girl of the year.
My girl's on notice after this. I'm not gonna lie. Be like, you better have some gyoza for me. You know, you want to be my gyozan one? You better.
The Gyozen one.
So, this Doc Vo is like, oh, fucking baseball. We gotta play some baseball. Johnson the Bug and Dr. Kusakabe
like
are
my
there
favorite
now
episode.
as they're basically main characters at this point. And
That's my favorite episode.
Ebisu accidentally does a little bit of smoke. She does a little bit of drugs, and she lizards Noi. That's why they had to break the spell. It wasn't Chota.
That's right.
Noi is immortal, but Ibisu's magic specifically breaks other magics for some reason.
Yeah.
It's a lizard magic, but it's also an anti-magic lizard magic. Mm-hmm. And so she lizards Noi, and they're like, what are we going to do? And they're like, we got to take her to Chota. Meanwhile, back in the hole, Ibisu is pretending to be a shark.
No, she's mascotting for the baseball team.
Oh, wait, Ibisu...
Sharks.
Yeah, Ibisu doesn't lizard Noi. The guy carrying Ibisu's magic trips, and the vial hits Noi in the face.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Ibisu, on the other hand, is being the best shark that a brain-damaged
child
girl
can get.
Yeah. In the running for best brain-damaged child shark, left shark, check your privilege.
Yeah, she's just adorable in that little shark suit, you know?
They're playing
baseball.
They're playing baseball. I like that the old man who's challenging Dr. Kasakabe, he refers to him in the Japanese version as that crazy Kasakabe, but in the English version he says, that old pervert. He's like, we gotta beat that old pervert. And I think it's because he sews dead bodies together. They really hammer home that he's seen as like a weirdo and a deviant in the scientific community, which is funny because Kasakabe has been trapped in the body. He's a 60-year-old scientist who's been trapped in the body of a very sexy, like 16-year-old boy with tattoos. Because he's like, I was turned into a kid. I guess I'm pretty lucky. But because everyone doesn't address, oh, you look young. They're like, you're a kid. You're a kid.
Right.
And he's got tattoos and stuff. And what's even funnier is not thinking that Kasakabe had tattoos as an old man and he got turned into a kid, but he got turned into like a kid gang member. Like there's a sorcerer out there with gang magic, like child gang magic.
So specific.
Where he turns you into a child
I
gangster.
can turn you into a cholo whenever I want.
I got cholo magic.
Like that's the guy that rivals N.
Right?
Like I could turn N into a...
So 13 asks Kaiman if he can have Nikaido. Ugh! Like, just physical cringe for me when this happened. And he's like, can I have your girl, man? Come on. And Kaiman's just thinking... It almost disturbs me to know that this was written by a girl, because this is some deep man thoughts right here when he's like, oh, fuck that guy. That guy's so fucking annoying. Like, what? The idea that guy would even think about fucking trying to, like, put his hand down the front of that girl's like...
Yeah, you don't even know her.
Like, just that seething, like... Hey, man, what do you do? You've been, like, staring at that bottle. You've been, like, crushing that bottle of Gatorade in your hand for, like, 5 minutes. And it's just like, what the fucking asshole asking me if he can fuck my friend? What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with... Like,
yeah.
So Kaiman comes out, hits a dinger. Hits a fucking Barry Bonds dinger. And I'm like, hell yeah. I don't know if this is a filler episode. What the fuck is this? And that's not even the funniest part. The funniest part is that...
There's no fine line between filler and this show, you know?
Right?
It's like you can't. I couldn't tell which episodes were filler and which weren't.
Right?
Which weren't.
The funniest,
Because important things happen in the fillers.
namely that Dr. Cascabe, the cruelty of this show. You are having the funeral for your friend.
It's unhinged cruelty.
Everyone's like, get over your dead friend that you got killed, you idiot. You fucking idiot. You come to the world to get vengeance for your dead friend, and you find out that some guy has sewn about 70% of your friend together with about 30% of parts that he just found. And he's making you play baseball against your dead best friend. Like, I want to stress that again. You are being forced to play baseball against your dead best friend.
That's what he said in his head. That was like literally a scene. He's like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
And everyone's...
And I kind of felt for... That was the only part of the show where I kind of felt for Fujita. A little bit.
So, Johnson starts catching these baseballs. Fujita's like, they came here to laugh at me. And it's like, dude, you're undercover in front of tons of people you don't even know. And you're thinking this insecure bullshit. You deserve to have your foreskin taken away from you. You bitch.
Just, he never fails to be a pathetic character. In every episode.
But, man. So we get Chota. Cutting back to the cleaners. Because this baseball game just breaks into rampant cheating. You get Johnson just being an insect. You get Kaiman hitting a home run that fucking shoots out of the stadium and splits the crucified corpse of another sorcerer. I was like, oh, the disrespect. Life means less than nothing. And life is an affront to life. People who are alive are angry that other people are alive in this show.
I feel like... I don't know how death works in this world.
Your
honestly.
corpse is immediately a play.
Do you just get reincarnated immediately?
I hope. So they get back to the they fail to save they save Matsumoto. They go back to the sorcerer's world. Ebisu accidentally kills Matsumoto again.
Yeah.
She eats his body. Everything's fucked up when they get back to the sorcerer world. They're under attack. Mm-hmm. And Noi, they got to bring Noi back because they've accidentally killed her. So they go to see Chota, and the voice actor for Chota. Did you listen to his voice in English?
No.
I'm gonna drop it in here for a second because the voice actor for Chota is ridiculous. It is. He's like, hey, everyone, thanks for coming to see me. I'm Chota.
No, that's what he sounds like in Japanese.
I don't know that. I don't...
Someone used magic to turn Noi into a lizard human. Don't worry, leave it to me. This magic is transformation type level C with impurity. The ingredients are dirt from hell, the horns of a devil, and the seeds of 666 different types of flowers. Also, another important ingredient is the entrails of the person that Noi loves the most. It's so romantic, isn't it?
That's why I love him.
He's just like, we got these big bad spells, but don't you worry. I'm going to do everything I can to make it so
I
that
love
this
Chota.
spell's got to be gone. All we got to do is this and this, get a bubble bath going. And it's like...
I love it when he's praying to Satan. He's just like, Satan, please.
I wrote in my notes, I was
All
like...
hail Satan.
So he's like, all you gotta do is put your hand on her chest and think of your most precious memory. And I was like, what am I watching here? Jesus Christ.
Damn, that's what he sounds like in the dub?
It is the craziest fucking voice. The voice of Chota is the funniest fucking thing about
Have you
this
heard
whole
it in
show.
the sub?
Yes, I did listen to it in the sub. And
Isn't
I did
it cheeky?
I could tell that it was a voice, but the English dub of it, I was like, this guy is the best voice actor on the show. Like this.
Yeah,
is
that's why I love the voice.
the voice actor for
The
Chota.
Japanese guy too.
It's like best VO on the show, bar none. Oh my god. So Naked Noi, we get that. We get a shot of them nippleless titties. I'm not gonna lie, I licked my lips a bit. I was like, am I part lizard here? Because
Whoa. Iggy.
and so
Hey, shawty.
so we come back to the next episode. Matsumura, they bring him to Kurakabe, and he's like, can you bring my boy back? And Kurakabe immediately eats him. They're like, no, you can't bring your fucking. He's like a pile of meat, dude. That's not your friend. Get over your dead friend, you idiot. And the dog thing eats Matsumura. And so
And there it is.
there it is.
That's the end of that story.
So I guess that was a filler. I guess last episode was a filler? Question mark. But Chota is being hilarious. Kaiman in the sorcery world, his memory starts coming back, and he's forced to abandon Nikaido because he keeps having all these crazy ass flashbacks of him encountering Risu. So he's like, I gotta figure out why I keep seeing Risu in my head. They're looking for Cross Eyes, and that's when we learn that the Blue Night Festival is gonna be happening, where everyone picks their fucking partner.
By force.
Everything in this world
It's by force.
You go to the dentist by force. He cleans your teeth by force.
You get hired by force.
Yeah.
You get paid by force.
You get a girlfriend by force. Like, it's not my...
Like, as I was watching, like, the Blue Knight episode, I was like, this is what the Middle East is like. Right?
Yeah, so... Okay, no. When I said earlier, when Noi and Shin kill those two teenage boys, there was still the tiniest fragment of a pinprick of light that there might be laws in this world. Because I'm like, well, these guys are hardened gangsters. They are hitmen for one of the largest crime bosses in the land. Kaiman encounters a boy getting bullied, and that boy's boss immediately just comes up and kills the man that is bullying his employee. And he kills him dead. And he's like, don't bully my employee.
In the worst way.
And
It's the most gruesome way, too.
And that was the moment that I realized. I was like, oh, this is a bakery owner. And he just killed a guy in the middle of a festival, surrounded by people. Like, everyone saw this happen. Nobody cares. This man's not a hitman who works for the biggest mafia. This is a bakery owner. And I was like, there are no rules. There are no rules. There can't be rules. There's no rules. This is a world with no rules. Zero rules. I've never seen
And they're giant bears.
I've never seen such a thing. But yeah. They are... He's like, I'm Tamba. Don't bully my employees. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And he's like, that's Kyrian over there. She's a quiet woman. You see this like Catwoman looking at him from the shadows. I was like, what is this? This feels like in the manga, this is like, there's more to this.
It's a cute little bakery with a bunch of monster bear thingies.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call these things.
And then when Tamba disrobed, and I'm like, this guy's wearing a Big Mama's House style fat suit?
Yeah.
That fucking threw me off. That slammed my dick right in the
I don't get the
dresser.
point of that. I think you're supposed to hide your identity in this world.
So that people can kill your family?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Like, so your family's not just a bargaining chip that's constantly in play?
I don't know if there's like a social credit score in this world
Oh my
where you have to
God.
hide your identity.
I wouldn't be
I mean,
on...
don't you wonder why everybody wears a mask in this fucking world?
I couldn't imagine a Facebook existing in a reality with a murder rate this high. Like, I wouldn't have any piece
Murder rate's 200%. Living is a rare thing in this world.
So Tamba hires Kaiman, but so Risu is fawning over his private life where he's like, man, I used to be like a drug dealer, man. It was so cool. I had my friend Aikawa. I was like, this whole flashback with Aikawa is so on the nose because he's like, hey, Risu, remember, I'm Aikawa. I'm your partner.
Yeah.
When he like literally says that.
Yeah.
He says, remember, Risu, I'm your partner. I'm Aikawa. And I was like, well, that's gotta be Kaiben. That's like...
Yeah, a little bit, but like I wasn't like satisfied with the character design.
Of
Like
Aikawa?
yeah, out of all the characters, he had like the weakest.
He had no... Well, he's faceless. But I was...
No, he just has like a weird mask.
But just this whole like, hey, don't trust them, man. I'm the one looking out for you. Remember, I'm your partner. And I was like, all right, I don't know what this guy's up to, but there's no way he's not up to something. Like,
yeah.
that was the most on the nose. Like, if you said some shit like, Nick, come on, we've got to go record that podcast. I'd be like, Sean's up to some shit. He's going to try to kill me. Come on. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, I noticed that you didn't eat that slice of pizza I gave you. Why don't you take a bite of that pizza I gave you? After all, I'm your best friend, and you should eat pizza with your friend.
Eat it while it's warm.
Eat it. Yeah, come on.
Man.
You love pepperoni, right?
It's gonna get cold, Nick.
Don't you still like pepperoni? Come on, we used to have eaten pepperoni pizza with your friend. I'm your friend.
I'm like rubbing your back. I'm like getting real close.
Yeah, so I'm like, Aikawa's definitely fucking Risu's wife or something. Like, no doubt, there's something up here.
No, he's just fourth wall, just hinting at you.
So we get this fucking Risu's like, I need juice. I need some fucking juice, man. He's running low on the slaps. And there's a clothes fitting here. They're looking for a Time Lord. You find out that Mr. N is like been spending, he's like, I know there's a sorcerer that can control time, and
yeah, and that's his motive. Well, we don't know his motive. We don't know what he wants to do with time.
We just
know that he's looking for a sorcerer that can manipulate time.
We just know that he's like, I need a healer, I need a disassembler, I need a necromancer, I need a Time Lord. And it's like, I see what you're doing here, pal. Then you're going to need someone who can like transfer powers. And then we're in My Hero season 3. Like, where I suspect
where he's like trying to manufacture like
he's gonna want all the powers into himself.
We'll see.
Maybe
this show is too like out there,
but this show's also old,
right?
I don't know,
but for an old show, it's pretty fucking out there.
We'll have to see. So there's all this clothes fitting. Bisu gets a dress with big old titties because she's ashamed. She's rightfully ashamed of how flat-chested she is. she hangs her head in shame at the state of her chest.
So she gets boobies.
There's magic.
And she's like flaunting them around. That's the part of the show where I was like, okay, I appreciate this character. You know?
There's a statue of the boss that's made of candy. He's like, this is exceptional. Oh, we should have pulled that sound clip. I laughed so hard when he saw his candy statue. He's just like, this is exceptional. Yes. And I was like, there it is. The transition of Mr. N from terrifying crime lord to like literally a joke is complete. He's like not a real, he's a fucking funny dude.
He's a part-time villain.
Oh shit, damn, we're running long on this. I didn't think we were that. Yeah. But man, there's so many sorcerers. There's the festivals going on. Chota's wearing wings, Noi's wearing heels. Everyone is I love that Abisu says to Shin, she's like, Shin, it must be hard for you not to be melting at overwhelmingly sexy I am. Are you just like quaking in your boots at how sexy I am with these titties?
And he's like not amused whatsoever. Nobody's amused.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, we know you got those.
No, Fujita.
We know you got those shipped from Amazon Prime.
Dude, Fujita is totally glazing pictures of Abisu. Like he's just too afraid to tell her. He's like, oh, Bisu, I just wanted to ask you. Oh, and he comes in his pants, and he's just a bitch.
He tells her, though.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, whatever.
He's still a boy, man.
So they are having the auditions, and the boss is like, anyone who tries to partner with Kikarage, I'm gonna fucking murder. It's bullshit. What all happens in these last couple episodes? It's basically the festival. Like, there's a whole lot going on, but really it's just this festival.
And then in the next episode, they take Nikaido.
Yeah, and this is something that got me.
Because they need to do it on Blue Night.
This is the thing that got me, is Nikaido gets this mask out that she's like...
Yeah, that was given to her by her...
Asu.
By her master.
No,
the devil?
Asu the devil, which devils...
Asu is her master or something, right?
He's just a devil that's known her since she was a child.
Okay. That's right.
But devils have no masters, and it's considered weird that Asu even cares about Nikaido at all. Like,
we don't know why yet.
It's kind of Rem in...
a subtle way.
In Death Note all over again, you know? Where it's like, Rem was a Shinigami that just loved Misa Misa so much. And it's like, Asu, we haven't learned why he cares about Nikaido so much. But he gives her this mask. And this mask is what made me decide to read the manga. Because they hype this mask up, and it ends up playing such a little role that I was like, this mask has to be way more important in the manga. I bet this mask has like a lot of airtime. I bet you see how it was like forged or something. It just seemed like a weird prop to bring in on like episode 10 and be like...
No, it gives her power. I thought it gave her... It enhanced her smoke power.
Yeah, but she
enhances
used
her
it for like
sorcerer.
5 minutes.
Yeah, because like she vows
And she
not
never
to use
uses her
magic.
powers.
Yeah, she vowed not to use magic.
Yeah, I thought she was going to stop time. I thought she was... The world! I thought we were going to get...
Yeah. We should
The world!
get that sound clip. That's a good one.
Yeah. But we don't get that. We get this weird... he makes the contract, puts his flesh in hers and his... And they agree, basically. She thinks it's for the best that she leaves the human world. She's like, I actually am causing a lot of fucking problems by being in there. And so she kind of willfully joins En's crew. And the whole time I'm thinking...
Well, I mean, she fell through the blood thing. She was kind of put there
she never...
against her will. They all were. They all got put there against their will.
Here's all I needed. I just wanted... I didn't need Nikaido to go full Avatar state or something. Like, I didn't need her... I just want... Like, I wanted...
Well, this is her going up against En, pretty much. So she's got to pull out the mask.
But she didn't stop time. I thought we were going to get to see Nikaido's power. And we don't get even a... We don't even get a...
Yeah, at least a
We
glimpse.
don't even get a flashback.
Yeah, I was expecting at least a glimpse of it.
We don't even get a flashback of why she chose to not use her power.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of it yet.
We don't even know what shape it takes. She can manipulate time. Does that mean she can touch En and turn him into a baby? Does that mean she can touch En and turn him into a pile of dust?
Or does that mean she could just go back? And
Can she stop time? Can she refresh time? And then we get this whole thing with Risu, where it's implied that Risu possibly had these time-changing powers. Because we get what happened at the what's the name of the city that gets destroyed by Mr. N?
Oh, his birthplace, right?
No, the
He was like as a kid. He
Mestima,
yeah.
the city that he turned into shrooms. We find out that Nikaido, Shin, Noi, and Mr. N have all encountered a man who looked like Risu, who seemed to have time warping powers, in that they fought him, and from their perspective, Shin killed him, and then suddenly time reset, and then he killed them. And then Mr. N was like, I fought this guy as well. I killed him. And then
Yeah, they all
he
remember him.
reset and he was behind me. But Mr. N's like, I'm positive I killed him. I killed everyone in Mastima. But then time like slipped and he was suddenly behind me. And I don't know where he went. But I saw him carrying his like own head when he left. This is episode 10, 11 is when I started to realize I wasn't going to get the answers for these. Because I went into episode 10 and I was like, how are they going to wrap this up in 3?
That's where more questions come.
When you start to wonder, okay, wait, if Aikawa is who I think he is, and Risu, you think you're piecing it together. You're like, oh, so Risu's the guy.
Aikawa is Kaiman, 100%.
If he's
It's
not,
gotta be. It's gotta be.
but how are there 3 Risus?
That's the part.
There's
that
the
I don't-
Risu in his mouth. There's the Risu that was killed, and then there's the head of Risu that the other Risu found.
It has to be a time thing. I see what you mean.
It doesn't. Yeah,
Because you know how in some shows, like the way they like narrate time travel is when like, you know, it's not like they like, you know, the kind of time travel where you go back in time and you see yourself, you know, whereas like you're not him.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's like that, I guess, where those two characters interact with each other.
I don't know.
And something happened where somebody gets their head beheaded.
I'm not gonna lie. If Dorohedoro ends up becoming a time travel anime, I might get very mad. I might get very upset.
It's just you gotta wait for the execution, man.
Because
You gotta wait for the execution.
when I thought this was just gonna be, I don't know what I thought this was gonna be, and that's what's so fun is I'm 12 episodes in now, and I don't know what this is gonna be. Like, and
Not
that's why
supposed to.
I'm gonna go read the manga, but man, we got to fucking. I got to get to the bottom of this one, and I cannot wait until next year.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a given though. Aikawa is Kaiman, because like
I think
they
it's
go
too
through,
much of a
they
given.
go through because like they go through like how Nikaido came up with the name Kaiman, right? Like there's an episode.
It sounds like my old name.
Yeah. He's like, let's come up. Well, they're like, do you remember your name? And he's like, no, I don't remember my name. They're like, we should give you one. She's like, oh, what about Kaiman? And that's exactly what he says. He's like, that sounds kind of sounds familiar, you know.
Now, do you think Kaiman is a sorcerer?
Aikawa Kaiman. They don't show Aikawa being a.
Do you
sorcerer.
think Kaiman has magic?
No.
I think he will.
You think he will obtain the ability?
I think
or
he's
you think he always had it?
I think he's always had magic because Risu and Aikawa are They live in the sorcerer world.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if Aikawa has magic and he just doesn't like to use it.
We don't know Aikawa at all.
I know.
We only seen like 30 seconds of Aikawa.
Hey, this could pull an Attack on Titan on us.
And it's weird how we're so sure, you know? We only seen 30 seconds. There's like 30 seconds of screen time with Aikawa, and
This
we're
could-
100% certain.
Hey, this could pull an Attack on Titan on us where...
So, like-
remember in Attack on Titan Season 1 when we were like, what's in the basement? How are they going to fight the Titans? What, how are they going to get to the... How are they going to recapture the outer wall of Shinigashima? And, you know, you get to the end of Season 3 and it's like, oh, all your questions are stupid and don't matter.
Yeah. Because, like, the crux of the show at first seems like, oh, who did this to Kaiman? And now,
They
at the
say
end...
who did it to him by the end of episode 1. And
Yeah.
that's what's insane.
So, the crux of the show is...
What is really going on?
Yeah.
Risu...
It becomes more...
What does the Risu in... Because the Risu in his mouth doesn't even necessarily say, you're the one who killed me. He said, you're the one that got in my way. And I don't even know what that means. I don't know why there's a Risu in his mouth. All I'm certain of is that Kyu Hayazaki, she's a mad lady. This is the most stylish anime I have seen in years. I mean, it's not my favorite per se. Because
like, it
Mob
looks-
Psycho is a gift, and
I just think
Attack on Titan is a
out of
vibe.
any show, it kills it in character design.
This show
They
has
kill it.
style, though. This
Yeah.
show's got a feel. This show has so much
It's got
spice,
grit.
so much flavor in every single ounce of it. That from the fact that it has, this show goes through 4 different ending themes across 12 episodes. 4 different endings.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane. I noticed. I thought that was strange that they
Every
like
3
changed
episodes
it up.
they
Yeah.
change it up.
I thought it was strange, but it threw me off. For sure.
It's a treasure. I can't wait till we get. I hope season 2 can live up, because I'm not gonna lie, the roller coaster ride that is season 1. I feel like we don't get these that often. I've been saying that more. We don't get these that often.
I'm just so happy. Like, this is like, you know how you like you see an album cover and you think it's a cool album cover, right? You think it's gonna be good music on it, you know? It's like a shitty album usually, you know?
Yeah.
With this, it's like, you know, the trailer looked great, but it's like I was really nervous that Netflix was just gonna gunk it up, and they didn't. This is probably like the best thing they put out.
Oh, you think this is better than Ajin Demi-Humans, bro?
I haven't watched that.
It's all right. It was one of the.
Oh wait, I couldn't finish that. I got 10 seconds in, and I was like, this is not my.
It's a necessary step to get the art to
Is
where.
is it good?
I think the story's all right. Yeah. So, I guess final.
Final verdicts.
Let me just think here. Is there
Well, we just leave off at I mean, if we want to describe the end, it's just so N marries Nikaido forcibly, right?
he
takes
takes
their
his girlfriend.
Yeah,
They get the
he
contract.
jackied him.
Nikaido breaks the contract, but they say if you ever look at N, the contract will grow back inside of you.
Yeah.
So we've got to figure out a way to get
No,
around.
I think it's if N looks at you.
If you two ever see each other,
Yeah.
the contract will grow back. So you've got to avoid him
For how long?
forever.
Forever? Was it? I thought that was like a time thing. I guess it is forever then.
So
I thought it was for a year.
because he gave Chota her contract and turned
Right.
Chota into her. And Chota's like, I get to turn into Nikaido and fuck the boss? Hell yeah. I'm going to take that dick. I'm going to snap that dick off.
No, he's gonna sabotage the relationship
Not after getting plowed.
because
a
he's
bit.
mad jealous.
Yeah.
He's like, "Come on, N." He's like, "Get my contract. Do the contract with me, N."
So the funny thing about so many aspects of this show is that all the pieces are in play immediately, and it's just by the incompetence or lack of information that, like, fairly early on, Ibisu's magic can only be broken by Chota. Chota could break Kaiman's spell. Kaiman, from the fact that Noi can heal anyone, the dog can, Kikurage can revive anyone. You're like, all the pieces to get all the answers to not just this question, but any question are all here.
Yeah.
If you guys could just fucking, make sense of it and just work together. Like, when Risu gets brought back by Noi, I was like, of course. I was like, that took so fucking long. That was such a circuitous route. But I couldn't think, I was like, yeah, I guess it had to happen like that.
Nick, you don't know the rules to this world.
No
If there
one
are
seems
any.
to. No one seems to.
If there are any.
So now we gotta, I think it's confirmed. I think we can say that the next season is probably gonna have a good bit more love and romance in it. Kaiman and Nikaido, it seems cat's out of the bag.
Alone together.
Ooh.
Finally, far, far away from N.
Yeah.
But they still got some issues that they need to clear up, because Kaiman doesn't fuck with sorcerers.
No, he said
And
we'll
they
always
kinda-
be friends.
No, yeah, but like, remember at first, like he's like, you gotta go with when Asu was like, you gotta go with Nikaido. He was like, fuck this, I'm not gonna go with this liar. And then like they squashed the beef, but
Squashed it.
he wasn't about it at first, especially after they had a fight to the death right before.
I never even thought of you as a woman, Nikaido. It's a good line.
It's just funny to see him dressed in like an apron, while fighting her.
That's the climax of the season.
Yeah, he's like dressed like a woman, pretty much like a mom, cooking like like apple pies.
I did just want them to sit down and talk it out. I didn't want to fight. I was kind of frustrated that they were fighting at the end. I was like, just explain what's going on to each other, guys. And if you're not cool with it, then
But
walk
she was
away.
like under like someone's spell, right?
I know. It felt like Nikaido should have been a strong enough sorcerer to have been like, I'm under this bullshit spell.
Yeah, but you're going up against N,
But I'm led to believe that Nikaido's more powerful than N.
Yeah, but untapped power. N is tapped power.
Those women in their
And
untapped power. Those women in their Phoenix forces, their Cortanas.
No. It's not about the woman, man. Okay, Q. It's not about the woman, man.
I want them to unleash their untapped power. And I guess that's what all I've ever wanted. And hopefully we've unleashed your feelings about this episode. But yeah, I guess that's Dorohedoro. You got anything else you want to say about it?
Overall, well written, well drawn, well animated, well colored, flavorful. I would eat it again every day. I'd have Dorohedoro for the rest of my life every morning. There's not a character I don't like except for Fujita, but I think we're supposed to hate Fujita. Who would like that character?
He sucks.
He's not even funny.
He's not. He's just whiny. And that's one of the best moments of the series is when Abisu's like, "Ooh, Fujita, I'm such a big whiny baby, and girls think I'm unattractive because I don't do anything." And she's just like making fun of him. She's like, "Oh, I'm Fujita. I like to complain. I like to think that girls think it'll be hot if I complain a lot." Then she reveals, she's like, "I was your sponsor, man."
Yeah. That's her crush.
Yeah. Whatever.
He's a little wimp.
It's a little fucking wimp boy. But, I mean, I hope Dorohedoro Season 2 gets here as soon as possible. Because I need to know. I need to know how this shit ends. This is wacky.
It's definitely underrated. For sure. Most underrated thing on Netflix. Hands down.
Okay.
Hands down. I'm kind of mad it's a Netflix original. I wish it wasn't.
You think Crunchyroll would be a better steward?
No, Stewart. Why does it have to be a Netflix original? I wish it was a Hulu original.
All right. Well, this has been a fun ep. This is our Dorohedoro ep. If you like this, you can fucking leave a review for the show or call in. Leave a voicemail.
Comment.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Follow.
Kiss your wife.
We're on everything.
Hug your children. Love your
if you
parents.
have them.
And for the love of God, don't. If you got a man in a bag, just put him in the incinerator. Just stop making him wait. Stop making him suffer. Just put that bag in the incinerator. It's what he finds. All right, I guess we'll catch you next week on the. I guess we're doing Try Gun Part 2 next week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Or this week.
Yeah. Well, they don't need to know. So yeah, this has been Dorohedoro. This has been Boku no Podcast, an anime podcast.
Tune it out.
Yeah.